a dream that I wasn't paying attention to the clock, and it became 1 p.m. and I was like, oh my god, I was supposed to stream at 10 on the first day that I was supposed to stream on 10. Interesting prompt today. I think I can predict how today's going to go. Today's going to go in a very specific way. What's going to happen today is people are going to call in and they're going to give me a definition of cult that makes it so that MAGA isn't a cult. But that definition of a cult is going to be nonsense. It's going to be a definition of cult that excludes every meaningful cult that's ever existed. I'm also not actually all that knowledgeable about cults. I did a quick Googling on what actually is considered a cult, just to see what type of arguments we're going to get into today, because I don't actually think that the prompt is all that literally important. If you're a long time watcher of the show, the prompt isn't important. I just do a different prompt every single day, kind of for fun, kind of just as part of the shtick, kind of as the decor of the show. It's just a piece of set dressing to have the sign there, and I also like that I can identify every clip, all the clips from which day they're from, even if I'm sometimes dressed the same, because I don't own that many shirts, because the sign's always different, always a unique sign so far. Diava Talks is here. Hello, Diava. Let's get multi-guest queue open. I might start today by, once we get some viewership in here, watching a video that me and Derek did most of the work on it, a filming buddy of mine and a friend of the show, Dr. Dankenstein 42069, Dr. Dankenstein, like Frankenstein with a D, 42069. We might watch his video once we get some people in here, just because he did such a good job on it, and it's doing well. And it's doing well for both of our social media. It's part of our trolling campaign against Savannah Hernandez, the Turning Point USA correspondent that we're currently beefing with over on Instagram. We would be beefing with her on Twitter, but Twitter banned me immediately when I made my account a few months ago for beefing with Cam Higbee. So I guess Cam Higbee wins that battle, and Twitter will continue to be an echo chamber. At least Instagram, to their credit, all the social media outlets are biased, but to Instagram's credit, I actually don't mind that they allow people like Jake Lang and Cam Higbee and Savannah Hernandez to be on there, even though they're very, very bad people. Because we should be able to beef on social media. Where are we going to beef if not on social media? And Twitter says no, I'm not allowed to beef with these people, because if I do, 1,800 people call me the R word, which is great. That's great to see. Good job, people on the right. With your erudite dialogue about politics and such. And then they just ban you immediately if you're on the liberal side of the beef. So I got banned for inauthentic content for feuding with Cam Higbee about a thing that happened between us in real life that day. So if that's inauthentic content on Twitter, come on, isn't that what Twitter's for? This beefing about drama and stuff that happened. I'm kind of enjoying diving into this trolling, drama, gossip type of nonsense, because normally I stay away from that type of thing. But when it's when JD Vance is involved in the drama, which he is in this current drama with me and Savannah, I feel a little proud of myself for getting involved in a drama with the vice president. That's pretty cool. But also it's an important drama. The point I'm making with this whole thing is that law enforcement is wildly unfair between the left and the right, and that's really the moral of the story I'm trying to paint on this thing, which is why it's meaningful that JD Vance is talking about us on the news. It's meaningful that he sent the FBI after my buddies, and I say probably me because I didn't really do anything wrong on the day that Savannah Hernandez got into that fight. I broke it up, which made some people on the right mad, made some people on the left mad, whatever, right? I broke up a fight. But we all know that the FBI right now doesn't really need a good excuse to go after a person, especially when, people like Savannah Hernandez are going to just go lie on Twitter and have the wealthiest man on the planet, Elon Musk, retweet their lies so that everybody thinks that DeWoke Farmer did something wrong when it's abundantly clear that he wasn't really even involved at all. Lots of cousin marriages and NASCAR fans in MAGA. Yeah. I was looking up the definition of cult just because I figured I'm going to be arguing that today with the sign. And one of the really, to put it as concisely, a cult is a social group that usually is formed around an individual that they all adore, and their adoration and respect for that individual goes against reason and social norms. So, let people watch NASCAR. I don't care. I'm more into Formula One myself, but I'm not really into that type of spectator sport. Personally, I'm not really into any spectator sports. But things like cousin marriages, it's like all these things that MAGA do go against societal norms, like watching a person be shot 12 times for standing on the street and yelling, or like whatever he did, raising his hand when he got maced. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Like, that's the question with the Alex Preddy footage. It's like, show me in this video where he does a thing where the appropriate response is to shoot him 12 times. Even if you think he was in the wrong, even if you think he was under arrest, which he wasn't, even if you think he was disobeying lawful orders, which he wasn't, because there weren't lawful orders. Like, nobody has shown what the lawful orders being given. No all caps in the chat. No all caps in the chat. Your final warning. You get one warning on that. But Timothy Cobb, if you think I'm wrong, then yeah, that's gonna be Henry Schmeltz. I'm actually gonna ask you to hold on for 1 second. I'm gonna try something, and I just want to see how the viewership does. I'm gonna watch this video that me and my buddy Derek worked on. He did most of the work on the video, but I've been doing a lot of the background stuff to get the content together. So we're gonna watch a 2-minute video together. Oh man, these people are so mad. I knew the sign was going to be good today. Anyway, I'm just going to advertise our trolling campaign a little bit. I'm pretty sure this video is TikTok friendly. We'll see if I get banned for it. But I'm going to pop this up on the screen, and we're just going to watch this together for 2 minutes, and maybe that'll give the callers something more interesting to talk about than the sign. So we're going to do this.
See that? It's the mainstream media asking me about Erica Kirk Jr. getting her butt kicked.
Is it fair to say that she was assaulted from what you guys saw?
Yeah, me and my boy Oskar just did a little press tour. Last week, we helped a citizen journalist out of a little jam she got into with some people she professionally agitated. And now the media won't leave us alone.
We talked to 2 protesters who helped get Hernandez to safety, and they said that they believe that she has instigated the video for clicks.
We are real citizen journalists now too, Savannah. I'm just like you, Mom. These actual journalists were very interested in our footage that shows a different story than the one you told Fox News. In particular, they were very interested in this clip, which shows you initiating the physical altercation. Fun, right? You forgot to mention that part on Fox. I also think you didn't mention this.
Then you see Hernandez throw a punch.
On Fox News, you made it sound like you're a scared little baby, but nah, girl, you're a scrapper. That was a pretty solid punch. You weren't scared at all. Anyway, shout out to my girl Uba over at WCCO. Her piece turned out amazing.
Both men say these videos also show Hernandez was part of the physical exchange.
She used the absolutely best parts of our interview.
The impression that I've gotten, because I've watched the footage a bunch of times now, is that both of them kind of wanted to fight.
It's frustrating to be saving somebody from an assault who doesn't want you to be saving them from an assault.
Also, shout out to my boy Chris over at Care 11. His piece was legit too. Oskar had a great soundbite.
But it just takes one person doing something bad for her to spin that narrative that that's who all of us are. And she is working hard to ignore the fact that some very well-known members of this protest community saved her from that bad situation.
We reached out to Hernandez.
I got cut out, but that's okay. The other thing they cut was us saying, Savannah, come debate us. Come interview us. You want to know what's going on in Minneapolis? Here you go. Anyway, Chuds, I love you.
Anyway, he's doing great stuff. He's in charge of the trolling. I'm in charge of like the journalism and research. Billiams, who cares? I don't know, dude. Like, enough people. Like, it's kind of a big story. I will say I'm like getting recognized in public a lot, which is terrifying. But because I'm, wait, Billy, no, I haven't warned you yet. No all caps in the chat. You get one warning. You're allowed to say your silly things. Actually, no, I'm probably going to silence you for that because it's like weird misinformation. Yeah, you can try again tomorrow. Muted for the live. We're going to talk to Henry Schmeltz. I just wanted to show off that fun trolling video because we are enjoying the trolling campaign against Turning Point USA and the Reds in general. We're going to talk to Henry Schmeltz. Henry Schmitz? Yeah, Henry Schmitz. We're going to...
Howdy.
Hey, Henry, how old are you?
55.
Hello?
55.
55. Okay. Yeah. Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm more than a Trump supporter. I love Trump because he does America good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna say that like my trollometer on like whether or not this is a troll is currently at about 97%, which means you're on thin ice. So tell me why you like Trump and do it in a way that's convincing, or I'm gonna kick you because I don't think this is real. I think this is a bit. Now's your chance.
Okay. Here's the thing.
I know enough about linguistics to know that the accent that you're doing is not actually, it's a caricature of an American accent. Very few people actually speak the way that you do. It's a little cartoony. So again, I think you're doing a bit.
Well, I'm glad you're telling me how I'm going to speak.
Yeah, it's strange. You're speaking from the back of your throat. You're talking from back here like you're doing a voice instead of just actually having the accent like you'd be talking up here if you did. So, like, again, try again. I think you're trolling.
Well, I'm not a boring communist.
See, I told him to change his accent, and he tried, and nobody who was speaking with their actual accent would do that. Goodbye, Henry. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. I think the linguistics education has made me good at telling if people are trolling. Anyway, Mike Green says, I'm tired of the other lives accepting that this as if it's real. I don't even know what you're talking about. IG Cams is in the chat. We're gonna see if he's a troll, but first we're gonna ask him, how old are you? How old are you?
Yo, I'm 18 years old.
Okay, I'm gonna believe you because you speak with, like, you didn't sound to me like you're lying, but you do sound young. So we'll see if I believe you, and I might ask some confirmational questions on that. Are you a Trump supporter?
Oh yeah, obviously.
Okay. I mean, I don't think that that's obvious. Most people aren't, first of all. But you did call into the live. I do just have to ask.
Yeah.
Because people call in and are not Trump supporters. Why do you support Trump?
I mean, have you seen the taxes, bro? I mean, I pay taxes and I pay taxes, bro, and it's like, wow, it's gone down. It's gone down majorly.
If it's gone down majorly, then you're not 18 years old, because if you were 18 years old, you wouldn't have paid taxes more than once. Goodbye. Anyway, man. All right, 2 liars off the starts. We're going to talk to OnlyDans, which is kind of a fun username. We're going to make sure he's a Trump supporter. We're going to remind him not to violate the TikTok terms of service. And we are going to ask, first of all, are you over the age of 18? How old are you?
I am 33 years old.
Okay, I actually fucking believe you, unlike the previous caller. Why do you support Trump?
Because he's a fucking gangster.
I don't. Isn't his whole platform on imprisoning gang? Wait. No. This has already started interesting. Isn't his whole platform? Isn't his whole campaign about imprisoning the gangsters?
No, he's talking about getting people that don't belong here out. What the fuck do you mean?
Right, violent gang members is one of the things that he calls those people.
Yeah, the illegals that come over here and kill people, yeah, he gets them out. The ones that are legal, he puts them in prison. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Well, actually, he's not doing a very good job of that, first of all. Like Obama did, actually.
Give me an example then. Give me an example.
An example? What do you mean an example? I could talk.
Give me an example of how he's not doing a good job there, because you literally just brought up the fact that he is doing that, but then now it's changed.
Well, I didn't say that he's doing that. I said that he promised to do that, and he's doing a terrible job of it, which is something that should
like what? Dude, how is he doing?
Stop interrupting me. Like you have interrupted me every single time I've opened my mouth. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. So slow the fuck down. The call is not entertaining, and people leave the live. So if you want people to hear your voice, you need to participate in the conversation like the adult that you informed me you are when we started the call. Are you capable of doing that? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I don't mind being misgendered because it shows how hateful you are, and it doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm secure in my sexuality and gender identity. Thank you for demonstrating that you're an asshole once again, which you have done many times since the start of the call. Let's slow down and talk about this. Donald Trump said that he was going to arrest people who are committing crimes, correct?
Yep.
Okay. You're very upset about the illegal immigrants. I actually want to talk about that in a moment. I want to go back to what I started on, which is that he said he was going to arrest, these violent gangsters, these people. But you yourself started by saying that Donald Trump is himself a gangster, which in like kind of a silly colloquial sense, I would agree with, because he's like a lifelong con man and fraudster, leader of large criminal enterprises. He's done many violent, horrible things and gotten away with it. So like, yeah, that's actually pretty gangster. My argument is that the president shouldn't be a fucking gangster. What's wrong with you?
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay, so what are you like saying that him being a gangster? What are you implying that we should just put people in jail that are doing the things that they're saying they're going to do? Because in the end, what is happening? What happened? The borders are closed.
No. You're moving past everything I said. I am addressing the fact that no. We're going to stay on one thing. I'm not going to let you pivot.
What I'm saying.
You're pivoting on to 4 other things. No, I'm not going to let you talk because I don't let my guests talk when they're pivoting on to other things. The topic is the fact that you called Trump a gangster. I described the sort of things that actually do make him a gangster because I agree with that assessment of him. Okay. I'm saying the president shouldn't be a gangster. The question is, here's the topic of the live. Pay attention. Why do you think the president should be a gangster?
Because he is getting things done that all these other presidents said they were going to do never done. What?
No,
that's,
he
that's
isn't
it.
though. He's failing. Like even if we ignore
Give
the
me
civil
an
rights
example,
abuses,
then. You have yet to give me an example of where he's failing.
Well, okay, again, you moved on to that before we addressed the first thing, so I will move on to that now.
You need to answer that question because you keep going away from it.
I'm doing that. I'm trying. You're just talking over me. You're wasting time with all this interruption. I have to spend a lot of the live like teaching you how to have a conversation, which should have happened some point in the last 33 years of your life.
Look at the comments there, bro. Everybody's talking shit about you.
Yeah, people do that, dude. This isn't an echo chamber. Lots of people come and talk shit about me. I'm fine with that. It doesn't really mean anything, but we come up and we have discourse about it, and you're not really doing a very good job of that. So I will give you some examples. Donald Trump ran on a policy of saving the economy. He has completely failed to do that and actively done things that have damaged the economy. This thing about immigration that you're talking about, for how much suffering he's causing, how many civil rights abuses he's causing, for how much money he's pumping into DHS, for how much he's trying to ramp up these enforcement actions, the actual results, the number of people being deported and the number of criminals being caught is embarrassingly small. Obama did a better job. Like what's your answer to that?
Obama also bombed who and how many bombs did he drop? Nobody wants to talk about that.
Stop pivoting. I will answer quickly. I do not like Obama's use of drones. I condone it. It's something I'm highly critical of. But let's talk about the thing we were talking about, which is that Obama's deportation record is actually, according to somebody like yourself, better than Trump's because he spent less money, caused less suffering, and achieved like a greater immigration deportation effort and caught more criminals. What's
then why do we have so many leaving right now?
What about
that auto? What about that auto pin?
Yeah, dude, you're like we're playing.
No,
what about
I literally am answering the question.
No, what about that auto? No. What about that auto? No, what about?
If he did such a good job, why is he leaving?
Listen,
why are so many now?
Listen, kiddo.
All right, let me ask you one more question before you drop me. Where'd you get that cold sore, you fucking faggot?
I got it when I was born. Oh, slur. Okay.
You got a cold sore when you were born?
Yeah, okay. Slur-n-run. That was a fun call. That is a Trump supporter. If you listen to that brief call on YouTube, thanks for making it all the way through the short thing, even though that guy was insufferable. Please hit up the link tree in my bio if you want to support what I'm doing. Anyway, yes or no, W or L for the host? Let me see in the chat. I think it's good for the engagement to trick you guys into like leaving lots of comments, but I need to start doing that because it is also fun to just see where the chat is. So give me a W or an L in the chat for my job hosting that call. And if you typed an L, hit the request button on your screen because I probably want to talk to you. Yeah, the slur-n-run is fun. Okay, I'm getting some L's in here. That's fun. Remove Trump. I appreciate with the sentiment, but no caps in the chat. I consider it spam. Somebody says Q. Can somebody else say P to cancel that out? Is anybody going to get a joke that dorky? Now we're just throwing random letters in there. Great. Yeah, all the letters of the alphabet. Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. The engagement is good. Man, I feel like I even got some good points in there, even though he was pivoting very quickly. We were talking about immigration, and he said that an answer to my question was the question, what about the auto pen? Like, you can't write this shit. It's hilarious. That hat, yeah, it says Canada on it. The hat is from Canada. I'm not from Canada. I'm from New York. But most of my family is from Canada, which is why I have the hat. And I've been surprised that people haven't, like, I mention that I'm Canadian all the time, like half like Canadian on my mom's side. I was born in America, and I'm surprised I don't get more nonsense accusations of being an immigrant, because a lot of people always want to accuse people of being the thing they're upset about. But for the most part, what Trump is doing is not something that like is making my life personally difficult. Let's see. Rick Porcher said you would feel like you got good points in. Yeah, I mean, I tried. He didn't really let me do it. Thoughts on No Kings? I get you talking about the specific protest movement, because I have some coverage that I did of the No Kings rally, which is fantastic. I had a great time. Very, very happy to. Some of the speakers and musicians that I saw, I was really, really excited to get to see. Will the war restart on Tuesday? Is Monday a bank holiday? Did I miss that? Yeah, I mean, the Strait of Hormuz was open for what, 12 hours, right? Like it's already closed. Anyway, I see lots of people engaging with the chat, which is fantastic, but I will remind you to double tap on the screen if you're not engaging with the chat, to get some more people in here, because I think everybody saw how that first call went, and they're like, oh, fuck. I literally had people in the queue. I had people in the queue during that call, and they all ran while I was cooking that guy. People are getting scared of me. Nobody wants to talk to Oskar Quentin because it doesn't go well. I've got this particular piece of shtick that I do do, which is that I don't use the mute button. I just talk over them because I'm good at that. And they don't like it at all because they want the strategy most of these debaters use is to get the host to use the mute button. And then they say, oh, they're silencing me. And then they call that a W when really they were just disruptive of the show in a way that, like, imagine calling into a real radio show or a television show and just like yapping away and not letting the conversation happen. They would hang up on you. At least on TikTok, you get muted for a moment and you try again. Cranges McBasketball is in the queue. We're going to make sure that he's a Trump supporter, but we're going to accept him, remind him to not disobey the TikTok terms of service. And I'm going to start by asking Cranges McBasketball, how old are you?
34.
I believe you. You support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Why on earth would you do such a thing?
Because I personally like him. I think he's a great president.
Okay, that's terrible. I think that you shouldn't personally like a person such as himself because he's done so many bad things. Why do you like him?
What's bad?
He raped a woman.
Oh, he did? What woman?
Yeah, E. Jean Carroll. You know what? I actually regret saying that because I spent so much time talking about the E. Jean Carroll case that let's try this. Let's try this. He doesn't obey the Constitution and has said to a news reporter in an interview when asked if he needs to obey the Constitution that he doesn't know. That's really bad.
So words are really bad?
Words are real bad when you're the president, correct.
So what's worse, words or action?
It depends on the action and it depends on the words. There are many things that the president could do by saying words that are a way bigger deal than a particular bad action by somebody.
Okay, so what has he said that's such a big deal?
That he doesn't know if he has to follow the Constitution.
I don't think he said that.
Ooh, do I need to?
I think he said he's not sure about a specific part of the Constitution that they were referencing.
Well, right, they were talking about a specific part of it, but when he was directly asked about that specific thing he was concerned about, the reporter said, I don't remember the exact wording, but said, "But don't you have to uphold the Constitution even, because it's more important or whatever exactly they said?" And he says, "Well, I don't know." What he was saying, we were talking about due process because there are so many illegal immigrants and he's trying to deport them so quickly that the judges aren't going to be able to keep up with the cases fast enough. So we're going to have to deport them without due process. And what the interviewer was asking him is, isn't it more important to follow the Constitution than accomplish deportation, is essentially the reasonable sentiment on that. And his answer was, well, I don't know. And I'm saying that that's an impeachable offense. The president swears an oath to defend and uphold the Constitution above all else. And for you to be okay with a president that doesn't do that demonstrates that you probably don't understand American civics very well.
Okay, well, if that was true, I'd agree with you. But saying one thing and doing something is different. So maybe he said he doesn't know.
Well, he also does do actions that don't uphold the Constitution by signing executive orders that directly violate the language of the Constitution. So we could move over to actions if you were to just ignore everything he says. But again, I will argue that just ignoring everything the president says because he says terrible things demonstrates that your president is a terrible president.
No, you don't ignore him. You hear what he says. And to me, actions speak louder than words.
Okay, you already said that. I already responded to it. Do you actually have a response to any of the things that I said?
What, all that mumbo jumbo you were saying?
I don't think it was mumbo jumbo. I think that you just don't, you don't understand the issues well enough to understand them.
I think you're standing up for illegal aliens and shitting on the president at the same time.
I'm gonna call that a pivot. Let's go back to shitting on the president because I was doing that. We weren't even talking about immigration. He has failed to defend and uphold the Constitution, which is what in his oath of office. It's the only job of the president. His whole job is to do to the best of his ability to defend and uphold the Constitution in the scope of power that the president is given by the division of powers, as explained in. Guess what? The Constitution. He's not doing that. He's disobeying the judicial branch, which again is a violation of the division of powers.
Sutter McGee, one question: aren't the judicial, legislative, and executive branches equal?
Well, yeah, they're co-equal branches.
Okay, so then how can the judicial system trump the executive if they're equal?
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for my answer.
I don't understand your question.
If there are three co-equal branches, how can the judicial branch run the executive branch or override?
Well, so I'll give you a specific example of one time he did that, which is that there were a plane of illegal immigrants being deported to a South American country. The plane was in the air and the judge ordered it to turn around and return to the United States because the people on board had not received due process that they are due according to the Constitution. Trump disobeyed that order and ordered the flight to continue. That's him directly disobeying an order by the judicial branch, and what the judicial branch was attempting to do was check his power. So these checks and balances where one branch says to the other, nope, we're in charge of that, and we say no, he needs to obey that, and that's what allows the checks and balances to work, and he's disobeying that. I could give like endless examples. He does this shit all the time. This isn't
Has
like,
any other president disobeyed the courts?
I don't know of an example of presidents directly disobeying the courts. There are certain things that presidents have done where it's like, yeah, this was a little unconstitutional, or like this got ruled against or whatever. But again, when you can find like 1 or 2 or 3 examples from a 4 or 8 year presidency, and then you compare the fact that Trump does something of that sort 1, 2, or 3 times a week, it demonstrates that there's a fucking problem with Trump.
Okay, well, that was one instance you gave me. Give me 3 more.
3 more examples of what?
Disobeying or going against the Constitution, sir.
Going against the Constitution. Okay, early last year, he signed an executive order that overruled the 14th Amendment by saying that birthright citizenship didn't extend to the children of undocumented immigrants. That's one. What other examples?
Wait, how? Just by writing an executive order?
Yeah, because that's not how the president is. The president's not supposed to change what's in the Constitution. That's the job of the legislative branch. So by signing an executive order that changed existing court precedent on the 14th Amendment, that's one. Are we going to stick on that one? Or are you going to let me get
more let's stick on that one. So what
I don't think you want. Wait, can I just
order? Yes,
so
I do.
I accept your challenge. Can I please try to come up with 2 more?
No, let's just do with this one.
Oh, you don't like how confidently I started. You know. Okay, fine, whatever. We'll stay on.
No, I think this one's a joke. That's why I want to stick with it.
Okay. So like, do we need to look at the 14th Amendment and the executive order, or are you going to trust what I say about them?
No, we don't need to look up the 14th Amendment.
Okay, so the 14th
But the 14th Amendment is very vague, right?
Well, it's been ruled on by the Supreme Court like a bunch of times since then to clarify that, yes, in fact, it is supposed to extend to the children of undocumented.
Then why is it at the Supreme Court right now if it's already been decided by the Supreme Court in the past?
Well, the Supreme Court doesn't work that quickly, but what I'm saying is that it's like ridiculously obvious that this executive order is unconstitutional. And I would say that if the Supreme Court ruled against all those past Supreme Court rulings, it's a demonstration of the fact that we have loyalists installed in our government and our democracy is in danger. But the point is, there are 2 groups of people who are exempt from birthright citizenship. Do you know what they are?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, there's the children of ambassadors. So, like, because those people are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States in the same way that anybody else who happens to be physically here is, including illegal immigrants, by the way. So, like, if you're, the ambassador of Sweden living at the...
I don't need... What's the next one? I don't need all this extra shit. What's the second one?
A lot of people do need all this extra shit, and this is a show... Yeah, but you're not the only person here. There's 110 people watching, and millions of people watch these clips on YouTube and Instagram. So I do a little bit of over-talking to make sure that everybody listening is enjoying the show. Are you okay with not being the only person in the room? Because if you're not, you need to hang up the call.
Well, I am the only person in the room.
No, you're
Everyone
not.
else is eavesdropping.
Right. Okay. Yes or no? Are you okay with that being the case or not?
Just continue explaining.
They're not eavesdropping. They were here before you. Like this is a show. You've called into a show where I entertain people and I educate people, and I do consider them, because if I didn't, I'd be really bad at this. So I am going to say things that are for background for the rest of everybody, so that the call isn't confusing and difficult to follow, because I'm only focusing on you. You do understand that I have to think about a lot more than you in order to be successful at this, right?
No.
Yeah, that's fucking clear, because you're probably egocentric. Anyway, what were we talking about? You've derailed me.
With your small amount of followers from your mom's basement?
Yeah,
Where's mom? Did she make you breakfast yet?
All right, yeah, we're going to do personal attacks. Great. What were we talking about? 14th Amendment, right?
Yeah, I was waiting for your second example.
Right. So
outside of ambassador
it's
children.
not an example. They're exceptions. They're listed specifically in the 14th Amendment, which is the children of ambassadors. And then the other one is the children of an invading military force. So, like, if Russia invaded us and had boots on the ground, then the children of those soldiers would not be granted citizenship, because they're a military invading force. So those are the 2 exceptions. And the Supreme Court has ruled a couple of times that no, there are no other exceptions, including the children of illegal immigrants who
Can you pull up those cases, sir? The 2 cases? You said there was a couple where they decided that
it's been
the 14th Amendment gives birthright citizenship to illegal alien children.
There was one landmark case that really reaffirmed it, but there's been a bunch of other cases that have ruled on that thing. I'm just going to ask the chat to help me, because I have enough views. Chat, help me. What's the name of the Supreme Court case that reaffirmed that the children of undocumented immigrants are covered for birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment? I know I've got some mods in here who probably know that. But Wong Kim Ark. Thank you, chat. God, I love that I am so popular on TikTok that my chat is faster than Googling. And now I can just Google Wong Kim Ark. Fantastic. Thanks, everybody, for that. All right. I'm not going to do the AI overview because I don't trust AI overviews. Oh, look at that. The link's purple because I've done this a million times before. Let's see. Syllabus. A child born in the United States of parents of Chinese descent who at the time of his birth are subjects of the Emperor of China but have permanent domicile and residence in the United States and are there carrying on business and are not employed in any diplomatic or official capacity under the Emperor of China becomes at the time of his birth a citizen of the United States by virtue of the first clause of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. All persons, actually I think there's a typo here, this should say persons. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. So yeah, this goes on, but like you can research this yourself. Like I don't need you to sit here and read.
Yeah, read up. Go back up to the first paragraph.
I'm not going to read the whole thing to my live.
You don't have to. Go up to the first paragraph.
Okay, I'm up in the first paragraph. Yes.
No.
Yep.
Okay, so it says a child born in the United States of parents of Chinese descent who at the time of his birth are subjects of the Emperor of China but have a permanent, right? So they were citizens of the United States, dual citizens.
No, they weren't. No, dude, you're making shit up. That's not on the screen. You just made that up. That's not what it says. Look at the screen.
How do they have a permanent domicile in the United States?
Dude, don't fall for the 1984 bullshit.
What is a permanent domicile?
He's living here.
Yeah.
That's not what citizenship is. You're just inventing the fact that these people had citizenship when if they did, then this whole Supreme Court case would be moot and they wouldn't have had it at all. You're just making this shit up to make yourself look right. It's terrible, dude. Don't do that.
No. That's the switch you're taking because I fucking just bent you over.
I don't think you did. Chat, yes or no?
Country.
Did he bend me over?
Yeah, permanent domicile. What is that? People that live here.
Sorry, I got the wrong one open. Yeah, people who live here, and you just decided that they're citizens, and then that's why. Like, what are you talking about, dude? You're just
Did it specify that the parents were illegal, or that they were citizens of the United States already?
They are subjects of the Emperor of China. This is a. By the way, I will just inform you that this is a Supreme Court case from 1898 because this shit has been figured out for over 100 years. So the language is a little bit different, and maybe you need an understanding of history and English a little bit to know exactly like the ways that will present. I happen to, because that's what I did in school. I studied the history and philosophy of science, so I have this really long background understanding of different language. But actually, for old school English from 1900 or so, this is pretty comprehensible. And nowhere in this paragraph that you showed me, you pointed at this paragraph and you said that what this paragraph says. Oh gosh, go away, donate thing. Goodness, there we go. You pointed at this paragraph and told me that it says that they're citizens. You made that shit up, dude. Where did that claim come from?
How did those Chinese parents have permanent domicile, sir?
Okay, you know what? I actually don't know and I don't care because you're doing a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I refuted your point. Thank you, nerd.
No, you didn't. Dude, did he leave? Oh, he ran. Okay, so what I was going to say is that he was playing the but why game, which is something that small children do, which is that you can say he violated the Constitution and he asked for 3 ways. I gave this example and then I laid out the example and he said, "Oh, but why?" And then I showed him and then he said, "Oh, but why?" And then I showed him, and then he said, "Oh, but why?" And I showed him, and eventually we're going to be trying to find the biographies of everybody who is involved in this case, and he's just going to be asking random questions about them. And yes, it's not good airtime. It doesn't make a good show. He's already demonstrated that he's wrong. So no, I'm not going to sit here and answer but why about every little detail of this case that he can come up with when it's so fucking clear. It's one of these things that's so abundantly obvious that it just actually isn't worth our intellectual energy to keep answering these stupid questions. So yeah, I'm going to refuse at that point to just keep answering random details about this case because yes, I'm not an encyclopedia. I'm not God. I don't know everything that's ever happened. I don't know what the judges' names were. I don't know what the Supreme Court justices' names in the 1800s were. You can ask me trivia about these cases that I'm not going to know the answer to for those reasons, and that doesn't give you the W. The onus is still on you to prove that you're right, and me not knowing some random detail from a court case in the 1800s doesn't make me wrong when it is common knowledge, especially among people who pay attention to the current politics of our day, that this particular Supreme Court ruling is on specifically what we were talking about. And again, I think we could have just ended it when he read the paragraph, said that it said they were citizens when it didn't. But anyway, we got lots of people in the chat, so people aren't running today. Actually, lots of people are running today. John Luke says, but Oscar back in 1799. Yeah, exactly. But the Democrats, but the auto pen, but Kamala, but Obama, but Trump is a rapist and he's currently the president. That's the fucking topic. Or that he's not following the Constitution, or that he's committing war crimes, or that he's destroying the economy, or that he's like stealing wealth from the American people and lining his own pockets, the pockets of his family members and his friends. Like, there's like all these things that he's doing that if any president had done any of them, it would have been a political career-ending scandal. The only examples we have are Bill Clinton, who was literally impeached for lying to Congress about an affair, which is like a drop in the bucket for the sort of things like that Trump has done. And then Nixon, who resigned facing impeachment because he knew he was going to be convicted for doing something way less scandalous than anything Trump has done regarding elections, because it was an election scandal with Nixon. Anyway, we're going to talk to Scott. We're going to see what Scott wants to talk about. We're going to check out how old Scott is. Scott, how old are you?
24.
I believe you.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Honestly, I'm not a Trump supporter or anything.
Goodbye.
Like that,
Sorry. The Just Us Girls hour starts at 12 o'clock. It is currently 10:34, so call back in about 90 minutes. Sorry to be rude. I just got to do it for the live, so I appreciate you for calling in, but do call in at the Just Us Girls hour after 12 o'clock when we can all just be friendlies and I don't care about the performance of the live. Right now, I care about the performance of the live, so get double tap it on the screen. Let's get more Trump supporters in here. We are going to talk to Chicken Dust, and same question. Are you over the age of 18? How old are you, Chicken Dust? Thank you for the hat and mustache. Quirky, beautiful. Yes, thank you. Chicken Dust, how old are you? Ooh, echo. All right, I'm gonna kick him because he's not responsive and there's an echo. People are gonna. Let me guess. Host lost that call, right? That was a W for the guest because he had an echo and didn't respond, so I kicked him. Suddenly, I lost, right? That's how this works. Supreme Leader is next. Fun username. Don't bake the TikTok TOS. Please be a Trump supporter and please tell me, Supreme Leader, how old are you? Hello? Supreme Leader, are you there? I hear you moving around. There's proof of life. Are you there? Are you there? Okay, Supreme Leader's also not there. I'm Just Jimmy Moore is next. We're gonna see if, first of all, he's there at all. But after that, we're gonna find out how old he is. Jimmy, how old are you?
I'm 18.
I believe you for now. We'll see what I think in a moment. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
Okay, why on earth are you a Trump supporter? You've been in the queue long enough that I assume you listened to some of the things I said about him in the last 5 minutes. Why, in spite of those things, are you a Trump supporter?
He's putting the American people first.
No, he isn't. He's giving billions of dollars to offshore accounts and leaders of other countries like Argentina. He's waging a war in Iran. He's destroying the global economy in a way that's badly affecting Americans. He's violating people's civil liberties, including those of citizens. Like, no, you're wrong about all that. I need you to demonstrate to me he's doing anything that's good for any of us.
He's improving the workforce, right?
No, he isn't. No, worst jobs report in decades. Nope, they're not. No, the amount of jobs.
Factories are booming.
No. You just said something that's wrong. Or I guess it's technically true, but it's a misrepresentation of statistics, which is that there are more people in America than the last time we had like good employment. So there are more jobs just because the population has increased, but the rate of unemployment is bad. The jobs report's real bad. The manufacturing bankruptcies are really bad. That affects employment. Like, you're wrong about that. No, jobs
are there.
No. They're not. You're wrong. I just explained why.
There's 6.88 million jobs available in the United States.
Right. But you have to consider that against how many people are looking for them, which you are just refusing to do because it would show that you're wrong. So do you understand
how
that
many people are looking for them?
I don't know off the top of my head, but what I'm saying is I know that the jobs report is bad and that people use the statistic that you're using, which is the absolute amount of jobs available, which of course historically has gone up. You could say that there's 10 or 100 times more jobs than 100 years ago, and that's not to suggest that the economy is 10 or 100
jobs are
times.
there, workforce is there, jobs are at an all-time high.
Okay, so you're just going to ignore everything I say.
Trump cannot control the fact that people do not want to work.
Yeah, you're not listening, and I believe the chat that you're not 18, so I am gonna move along, even though I don't have somebody else coming up. But like, that's such a dishonest debate tactic to do, to say there are more jobs than there've ever been before, and it's like, well, yeah, the population's going up. That number, like, roughly, it wiggles, but like went down dramatically during COVID, for example. That wasn't true during COVID, but just like, the number is going up. That's like saying that people are wealthy because there's more money than there's ever been before. That's not how it fucking works, and you know it. I explained to him twice that it doesn't work that way, and he just didn't respond to what I said, ignored every word of it, and then went back to saying, there's more jobs than there's ever been, everything's great, everything you just said about manufacturing doesn't matter, nope, doesn't matter, there are more jobs, big number, lots of zeros, like to look at it, looks good on the paper, I like to write my signature next to big numbers with lots of zeros. I don't care, dude. Like, you're in a cult, you're mimicking the behavior of your cult leader, and he's destroying the country. It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, please bring John up and school him on E. Jean. Am I gonna fucking talk about E. Jean? I want to go one day. I need to have I'll put it like up here. I need to have a sign that says days since going over the E. Jean Carroll evidence and have it always say fucking 0, because I stream every day and I talk about E. Jean Carroll for a fucking hour of my life every fucking day. It looks like one of my mods brought up Paisley. Paisley, how old are you?
Take a guess.
Based on your voice, I'm gonna guess that you're 36.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm 55.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 30. Do you support Trump?
Absolutely.
Why?
Too many reasons to name.
Pick one.
I like him.
That's a terrible reason to support a president. You support a president because of his just like on vibes, on personality. That is a silly thing to do. Why would you do that?
Why? That is your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
It is my opinion that's fucking silly. That's right. I'm sharing that opinion with my audience. So like we're going to talk about that opinion.
There's 111 people here.
No,
Who is your audience?
On Instagram it's 5.6 million people.
Am I on Instagram now?
Oh, no. You will be. But 5.6 million views in the last month.
And I'm going to look that up and prove you wrong on that one too.
Oh, wait. I'll prove you right now. I'll open my Instagram and show you if you're going to call my bullshit.
I can fake a screen.
It's like literally my Instagram account is open right now. Right there. Wait, right there.
It says 87 something or other.
It says 5.6 million.
It says views. Views is not the same as followers.
I said, well, okay. Do we want to talk about account reach?
I can easily inflate that number at any moment.
Okay, wait. Here's the number. Wait, I just pulled it up. It says, wait, let's get it. Not
same number you showed me already.
No, accounts reached. How many is that? Okay, wait, sorry. Accounts reached is, sorry, this is hard to do. Accounts reached is 2.4 million, right?
I can easily inflate that number.
Okay, I mean, I don't think that you could, but anyway, so, so 110 people watching, millions on Instagram, and we're going to talk about
I can easily inflate that number.
Okay, so, anyway, like, we could just pretend it's you and me. And
are you cold? Just curious, are you cold?
No, my hair's messy because I went for a run and I haven't showered since my run.
Okay, well, take the hat off, it looks silly.
I mean, see, yeah, I look way more silly without
you're more natural that way.
What?
There you go. You seem more natural that way.
Oh no, dude! I don't like my messy hair. I'm gonna put it back on. I can't hear him. Diava ban him if he says something silly.
There's this thing called a comb.
All right, we're gonna talk about the fact that you voted for a president on vibes. Why would you do that?
Why wouldn't I? Don't we live in America?
Well, you should vote for a president that's gonna have policies that are good for American people.
We live in America.
Yes.
Right. So I have the right to vote for who I have the right.
You have the right to be a total dumbass. Correct. What's your point?
It's your opinion.
Yes, we're talking about my opinion. That's what we do on the show. Are we going to talk in this fucking circle?
Are you in your mommy and daddy's house?
All right. I'm going to give you one chance to actually participate in this conversation before I kick you because you're not operating in good faith.
I need to get your background.
I'm 30. I live 1,000 miles away from any of my family members. I'm in an apartment. What do you like? What's
Okay, that's cool. Because you look like you're 15 in your daddy's house.
That's a compliment, dude. I'm 30. I'm twice that age. Thank you.
I just said that.
You couldn't even tell when I took my hat off that I'm balding. Like, I'll even get, like, I can spoon feed you reasons to insult me, but you're refusing to talk about what you called in to talk about, which is Trump. And I'm saying that it is a terrible, like, un-American, undemocratic opinion that you have, that you should vote for.
Why is MAGA a cult?
Because literally what makes a cult is a bunch of people.
Literally. Do you like that big word? Literally.
It's not. I don't think that literally is a big word, and I'm trying to answer your question because it's the first good question. It's the first good question you've asked me, which is the only reason I haven't hung up on you in the last 10 seconds. So I am going to try to answer it, which is that the reason I think that MAGA is a cult is that a cult is a group of people who surround a person and believe everything that they say, even if it goes against reason, social norms, laws, all of that stuff. And you're doing that with Trump. That's why MAGA is a cult.
I don't believe everything he says.
Okay, but you voted for him on vibes.
You're just assuming.
It's hard to do anything but assume when you refuse to participate in the conversation.
All right, the main reason is he's not a pussy.
I think he is a pussy.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah, he gets really offended when people like point out the things that he's done. He's incapable of apologizing for the mistakes he's made.
Go sign up for and serve your country.
No, thank you. I would argue.
So
I'm doing more for my country sitting here than you are.
You're not doing shit, dude.
I'm doing great. This is the debate thing's going awesomely for me.
Dude, you got 108 people in here. How's that?
Dude, J.D. Vance is mad at me. Like, what are you talking about?
How's that possible?
I broke up a fight with the Turning Point USA correspondent, and it's getting a lot of media attention. And the president and the vice president's talking about it.
I've not heard nothing about it.
Okay, that's fine. You could, if you want to go watch a video on my Instagram about it, you can.
Hey, Mr. Bugs Mickey, I'm not claiming I've ever done anything.
Then stop talking shit, dude. Like you're saying that I haven't done anything. Like what? Like
you have done nothing. You have 108 people in here. What have you done? Nothing.
Again, like, all right. I just gotta ask the chat. Ask the chat. Kick or keep in the chat.
I'll make it easy. I'll make it easy for you. Go fuck yourself.
You're allowed to say that on. Oh, he left. He ran. He didn't want to see how many people wanted to see him kicked. Ooh, it's a lot. Holy cow. Okay. We're gonna talk to Scott. Did we already have Scott up, or was he one of the people who? Diava, help me remember. Did we already have Scott up, or was he one of the people who had trouble connecting? I'm gonna go to Chicken Dust because I know he was one of the people who was having a hard time connecting, which is not a problem. Scott's new.
Dude, you
sorry,
tried
Scott.
to lie and say you had 5.
Go ahead.
What's that?
Go ahead.
You tried to lie and said you had 5.6 million users, followers.
No,
fans.
I didn't say that. I said.
And in the end, you paid.
I hear car noise and I'm like, I'm really not interested. Like, you can literally go to the Reels tab on my Instagram and scroll, and Instagram will show you that. Like, I posted a video last Monday, which is a clip from me doing these lives that has like 2.1 million views or something like that. 2 million, I think. Anyway, yeah, not working. Chicken Dust says, you paid a little bit because people donate money to me through my Venmo and stuff like that. So if you want to support what I'm doing, you can find the link tree in my bio and make sure that I'm more paid for this, because so far it doesn't pay very well. It's just growing really fast. That's very exciting. We're going to try Scott. Sorry to keep you waiting longer than maybe you deserve to wait. Scott, please don't break the TikTok terms of service and start by telling me, of course, how old are you?
24.
Oh, are you a friendly?
No. I'm actually not a friendly.
All right. My mod, one of my very trusted mods, told me that you're a friendly. So we'll see. Sorry, remind me. How old are you?
24. You said you're 30, right?
Yes.
But no, I'm somewhere in the middle. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If the election was held again today, would you vote for him?
No, I never would, and I don't really care to.
Scott, I'm sorry, but like, the non-voters are just such a difficult group to talk to because you don't give a shit. Like, how am I even gonna you're already demonstrating that you're not gonna argue in good faith if you don't even care enough to participate in this by exercising your civic duty to like have your voice in it. So like, I don't know. I talk to non-voters sometimes and I try to urge them to vote, because even if they're going to vote against me, I still would prefer they vote. Hot take sometimes. People on the left don't like that. A lot of people really think that a non-voter is better than a Trump supporter. But I think if somebody gets involved, even if they vote for, it's not going to be Trump next, hopefully, unless he violates the Constitution in that way. But if somebody's going to support him, I still want them voting, because it at least gets them involved and gets their skin in the game. But yeah, Diava said he was already up here and said he didn't support Trump. You told him to come back at girl time. Oh yeah. I'll talk to a non-voter during Just Us Girls Time, which starts at 12 p.m. CST in about an hour and 15 minutes. Anyway. I'm just Jimmy Moore. Did I kick him? My brain doesn't work this way. Did I kick him for good reason, or did I kick him because he wasn't on the line and I should have him back up? I don't, Diava, help me with that. Should I let, I'm just Jimmy Moore. That's something I wish that this, TikTok, if you could tell me, like, if I could see in their request the last time they were up, and maybe how long the call was, that would be highly educational. Because if I could see that somebody was up for 20 seconds, I'd be like, all right, let's try them again. Maybe they had a sound issue. Yes. Oh, Diava talks. You did the thing I don't like. Yes to what? Which one? Was he already up? Or I should let him up? Or which one? Jimmy keeps saying you run and you're scared. You won't elaborate further. I'll try it. We'll try Jimmy again. Remind me how old you are, Jimmy, if you did already.
Why'd you kick me, bro?
What? Which one were you? What were we talking about?
The jobs are at an all-time high, dude.
Oh yeah.
And I'm correct on that.
Yeah. Kicked you for totally good reason. Not doing that again. They're not. I mean, they're like the absolute number of them is at an all-time high because the population's going up, but the conditions of the average American are bad, which is important. And if you don't understand proportional statistics like that, then and you're going to refuse to even address, like, he didn't even tell me that he thought I was wrong about the proportions number being important. He just didn't acknowledge that I said it at all. Like, he just moved back to, well, there's all-time high. And it's just like, if you're going to literally ignore every word I say, you can't be on the live. You got to participate in the conversation. He fired the guy with the job report last year because there were bad numbers. Trump did do that. Scout, you're tangling my stuff up. Scout, no, don't do that. Can we get a W in the chat for Scout? Scout doesn't sit still. I'd love for her to just sit on my lap and be like chill, but she has no chill. She's a freaky little squirrel, and she needs to be moving in order to be happy, and that means that she's gonna crawl on my keyboard. Don't do that, Scout. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Scout sighting. Yeah, Scout. I'm surprised Merlin doesn't show up on the lives more. I feel like he is the one who spends. He will just sit on my lap, but I don't think he ever has during the live. All right, Scout, you can't. You're gonna ruin things, Scout. I love you, but go hang out with your brother. Scout has joined the chat. Yeah, unemployment is real bad right now. That is correct. That previous guest was just like never ever going to admit that. All right, should I get ambitious with the gift goals today? Because I don't have any callers right now, so I will take a moment to talk to you guys about what I'm doing, which is that right now I have like a work schedule gap where for the next like 3 weeks, I can actually be pretty sure I'll be able to do these lives from 10 to 12. Oh, thank you, Will. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be. I like even feel bad because I do the tiny gift goals and I'll do those during the lives, but I am gonna set up a galaxy goal just because, like, you know, I gotta learn how to grift. I gotta learn how to say that if you're supporting what I'm doing, then it's debate Scout. What would I debate Scout about? Anyway, so I'm gonna be aggressive with the grift today. I'm gonna set up a galaxy goal and see if we have some people. And of course, if you send me a galaxy, I'll give you some, a shout out. I gotta remember to do that stuff. So mods, keep me attentive if I'm busy when these things come in. Okay, there we go. So there's total give there. I think I did it right. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do live. I'm so new at this. I'm overwhelmed. My friends are doing a very, very good job of coaching me through how to do this properly. Let's get double tapping on the screen and get more Trump supporters in here, because we had one or two like kind of entertaining calls, but we really haven't had a very nuanced conversation about anything today. It's just like, here's my claim, and then I say, that's wrong for this reason, and then they say, here's my claim again, and then we do that 8 times and I hang up on them, or the slur-n-run or whatever. Heather Orr thinks that I'm amazing. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate you. Debate her on the amount of treats that she can have. I'm so weak in those debates. She absolutely cooks me every time. I'm weak when it comes to that sort of thing. It's hard to learn all the TikTok nuances. Yeah, it seriously is. And one of the things I'm doing right now is because I'm here in Minneapolis and I have all these people that I know personally who are reasonably big names in this protest scene. Minnesota Angry Man, who is in a lot of trouble right now for what he did to Savannah Hernandez at the Whipple building. He's coming on the show this week. That's probably going to be a special stream, not during the 10 to 12 block, but probably an evening stream that'll be announced a few days in advance after I get some of my coverage of it up. But one of the things I have to worry about is media readiness, because I don't want to have to kick like somebody I'm interviewing in a more journalistic sense because they said like a TikTok no word or something. So I've actually Diava, who's in the chat right now, and maybe some of the mods, you can reach out to me a message if you want to participate in this. I'm gonna try to put together a Google Doc, like a 1 or 2 page fact sheet on how to not get banned from TikTok Live, so that I can give it to people and either say, start doing your own lives, here's where you start, or I can give it to people before I have them up on the show, so that hopefully we don't get in trouble for like having the conversation that we're having, because it's not obvious, and it's a document that would need to update pretty frequently because things do change. But it's hard to find a good resource on what you can actually say on TikTok. And of course, no promises, right? Because TikTok won't tell us what the actual rules are. Which I respect. If they told us what the rules are, people would be really, really good at getting around them. But those of us who are just trying to get around them in good faith so we can have good conversations about what's happening in American politics or what's happening in the protest scene. I'd make it public, by the way. Everybody asking for a copy of it, it would be like in the link tree in my bio, like Oscar's TikTok Bible. But I would I'd love to get Dean Withers' input on that. Don't pester him, please. Anyway, yeah, it's such a silly thing that we have to deal with that. So I totally there's a million pieces of documentation like that I have to put together. I'll answer some questions in the chat because we don't have a caller, but keep double tapping on the screen because I want to talk to MAGA. We're only about an hour in. It's not time for Just Us Girls yet. Mods are sending out invites. Don't be scared. Come talk to me. LOL, Dean is such a good guy. Yeah, Dean's great. I disagree with him on a couple of like minor points that would it would be so interesting to just talk to him about that. But the echo chamber conversations don't do all that well. But I think that my debate style is closer to his than a lot of other people's. But I do think that he and I differ in enough ways that somebody might prefer one of our shows over the other, and that's good. That's why it's good. It's not one person who should be doing this. It's part of this is just selling entertainment, and you might like the sound of my voice and not like the sound of Dean's voice, or vice versa, and that's great. Michigan in a red skate with blue stolen leadership. John, I don't understand that comment. Elaborate. Why are we talking about Michigan in the chat? What's going on? Oh, it's a swing state? I don't know. Somebody give me an update. Somebody give me a synopsis of the chat drama about Michigan. Debate on the amount of treats. Oh yeah, it's all friendlies in here. Did I scare them all away? Did I scare away all the Trump supporters? I'm too good at this. They don't like talking to me. They all run. Cool sign. Oh yeah, let's I'm just gonna block that. Yeah, leave. Anyway, Michigan is fabulous. I do like Michigan. I've spent a bunch of time there on like camping, and back when Airbnb was new and affordable and cool, it was like fun to go find a trailer somewhere. Dean is too repetitive for me. You know what? I'll actually say like that's one of my, as a creator, that's like one of my criticisms of him is that it is like the same 12 conversations over and over again, and I really try to angle to actually like, instead of regurgitating the same words about something, I really do try to come up with a debate tactic that is like curated for the person that I'm talking to. Sometimes, those who watch me long enough know when I'm in like regurgitation mode and I'm just saying the same spiel again because it's the same argument about the E. Jean Carroll case again that I'm saying. But for the most part, I really try to like lock into the person that I'm talking to and explain things in a way that is meaningful to them. And that's, sometimes effective, sometimes that's not effective. That's true of all the debates, but yeah, I think that sometimes Dean gets a little lost in the regurgitation sauce, which he's great at it. He's incredible at it. And at the end of the day, these calls are repetitive, not for a reason that is his fault, but because these cult members who think that Trump isn't a rapist or that he's good for the economy or that he's like not waging a war, even though he is, they all just say the same arguments over and over and over again. And I know them all really well, but that's why I really seek out calls. Like when that previous caller called in and said that he voted for Trump because he likes his personality. And I said, great, that's actually a new claim. Like you just passed him on vibes. I want to talk with you about the fact that you shouldn't vote for a president for just on vibes, on their personality. You should vote on like competency and policy. And he wouldn't even address it. He said, yep, that's your opinion. And then he just like made fun of my viewership. Was that guy? I don't even remember. Like it doesn't matter. The entire Republican Party and their supporters are a bunch of talking points. Like, yeah, if you say words don't matter and you only value actions, which is, I think, still a silly thing to say about a politician. Their actions are also bad, but the callers don't want to talk about that. John says, I don't even know if Dean cares other than just to argue. I don't know. I think he does care. I've listened to him a lot, and I've got a good read of a person. I don't think he's a pure grifter. I don't think there are many pure grifters on the left, because if you don't care and you're a pure grifter, it's more profitable to be on the right. With the following that I have, like if I had achieved this following and this viewership on the right, I'd be doing this full time. Because the grift is better supported by the cult. If you support Trump, people will support that. If you claim you need security and you're willing to lie to people and say that like I'm going to hire a bodyguard, people will donate to that GoFundMe even if you don't hire the bodyguard. You don't have to do it because they don't care about integrity on the right, so it doesn't matter. Well, they like gangsters after all. Yeah, one of the callers literally said that he liked Trump because he was a gangster, and I said, great, let's talk about that. You shouldn't want a president who's a gangster. John, is people like you who divide this country. I mean, I would argue that Trump created the division. He's criticizing them for liking gangsters. I mean, if that's sowing division, then fine. Dirk Funk has been on the call before. I don't remember which one he is. Maybe Diava has an opinion on him, but there's nobody else here, so we are going to remind him not to violate the TikTok terms of service. We're going to make sure he's a Trump supporter first, but we're going to do that after.
Well, this is Dirk here. I really appreciate you bringing me up. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. This is great.
I remember you. How old are you, Dirk?
Well, I'm 30 years old. I'm from New York. I'm white. And I voted for Donald John Trump, the greatest president we've had in the past 100 years.
Dude, I'm just like,
go ahead.
I'm just going to start I'm going to start the way I always do with you, which I'm going to tell you that the bit.
Go ahead.
I'm talking, dude. The bit that you're doing.
Well, I'm saying, go ahead, spit it out.
The bit that you're doing is not good for the live. I need you to drop it, or I'm going to drop you.
Well, like I said, this is Dirk, and you have my permission to ask me whatever question you want. Go ahead.
I don't need your permission. It's my live. I'm going to ask you, are you going to drop the bit?
But I gave you permission. Take it.
All right. I'm going to kick Dirk. He's not
serious.
You
have my permission.
Yeah, again, it's a waste of my time. I should ban Dirk. I'm tired of having that brief conversation that I always have with him. And yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Some 20-year-olds sound like they're old. When I'm warmed up after I've been singing, I sound much older than I am. I think I sound a little younger than I am the rest of the time. Yeah, I should block Dirk. Oh, there he is. Great. Thanks for commenting, Dirk. Made it so easy to block you. Goodbye. Yeah, I've had that conversation with, like, I can never remember who's who because like all these calls kind of just feel the same, which is funny. We were just talking about that. But yeah, every time he comes up, and the moment I hear he go, well, it's just like, dude, like you're like a grown up from the Peanuts. You're in people's ears, right? Like people put this show in their ears while they're working or driving or whatever. Like it just needs to auditorily be not miserable. And sometimes it's a shame if your voice is bad. And like, I'm not going to kick a guest for not having a radio voice. I don't even think I have much of a radio voice. I could put one on, but it would be exhausting to do it for 2 hours straight. But I do just have to like tend to the quality of the live. And if you're going to on purpose be doing something that's bad for it, I'm going to say stop. And if you're not going to stop, then like, yeah, sorry, dude. Dirk, if you want to be platformed, he's not here anymore because I banned him. But Dirk, if you want, people like Dirk, if you want to be platformed, stop fucking around. This isn't an echo chamber, and I want to talk about the issues. So if you come up here and fuck around in such a way that you damage the platform, then like, yeah, dude, like it's actually good for the platform for you to say your nonsense. It's good for the platform for you to come up and disagree with me. It's good for the platform for both of us for you to listen to the things I say and respond to them, even if you disagree with them and you think I'm wrong. Show us how right you are instead of doing this stupid random bit that doesn't work. It doesn't get views. And at the end of the day, I cannot do this in a way that is solely based on intellectual integrity. I have to not violate my intellectual integrity, but I have to spend a lot of my attention making sure that the show is entertaining. And that's the difficulty. That's why it's easier to grift on the right, because it's way easier to make sure that you're entertaining and something that people want to donate money to, if you don't have to have intellectual and journalistic integrity while you do it. I do, because that has to come first always. John says, I don't like disagreement. John, hit the request button and have a conversation with me about that topic right now, because I'm literally discussing it to my live to no one, and I'd rather discuss it in front of them with you, because I think I made a pretty good, clear case for the fact that I want people to come up here and be platformed. They just like have to follow the rules, which I mean, it's basic. I don't want to talk to children either. I agree with TikTok on that one. But like, again, like that guy, Dirk, like, I don't think he has any arguments. I don't think he's a debater. I think he's a clown. And I don't mind him being a clown. I spend much of my time outside of what I'm doing on social media working with clowns. I work with comedians in the comedy scene here. So like, I'm actually fine with that. It's just not what we're doing on my show. You don't get to like walk into a talk show and do whatever the hell you want. There are parameters. So I don't know. John, I'm gonna mute you if I see another comment from you before you request up, because like you disagree with me. Come talk to me. John's. I got a restriction for harassment and bullying. Restricted for 10 minutes. I'm gonna power through. I was doing a little harassment and bullying, but which is fine. I think that there's times where that sort of approach to these people is appropriate, and TikTok disagrees, so we're gonna stick it out for until 11:10. I don't think I'm gonna restart the live for that one. But anyway, what's going on in the chat? How's my morning been? Good. I was really sleep deprived this last week because I had like a slightly heavier than usual just work schedule in my normal jobs, and I've been dealing with this whole media shitstorm because of Savannah Hernandez. So like, between yesterday and Thursday to yesterday, Thursday was completely messed up by me having to go to TV interviews that Derek organized, that I just, like, he called me and he was like, can you be at the TV station at 3:30? And I was like, oh God, yes. And then I like jumped in the shower and like started like changing my whole day up. But work and a gig that I had and a bunch of that has just made me very sleep deprived. So I feel rested today is the short version of that answer. I finally am rested. I like that name, Merlin. Yes, he is a black cat. Merlin, come here. Merlin. No, he's his ears perked, so I know he's listening, but see, cats hear you. They just don't always feel like listening. And he doesn't feel like listening right now. He'll come by later, probably. What else is going on in the chat? John, you didn't try to have a conversation with him. You don't know the possible outcome. Yeah, like, again, like, if you like, one thing like I get criticized for is that I often talk a lot more than the guest. And I see that in the waveform because I can tell the difference between the voices when I edit these videos, where it's like, yep, it's like the most popular calls, the ones that do best, are ones where I talk for 60 to 80% of the airtime, which is kind of just a result of the fact that most people who call don't understand anything. So most of me talking is just giving information. And then it's like maybe 20% their opinion, 20% my opinion. The other 60% where I'm talking is me just like explaining what it says in the Constitution or giving the background. Oh, Scout is hanging out in the back. You guys see her over here? She's making a cameo. So like there's like a structural thing there. Every now and then I have a Trump supporter call in who is knowledgeable and does understand it. And we don't have to spend a lot of time disagreeing about what the words on the screen are, like I did with a caller earlier today. And those calls, they tend to talk more than 50%. And I'm still able to get good rebuttals in because they do some of the information covering. But yeah, there's like a degree to which I have to steer the ship because I'm running the show and paying attention to a lot more than the caller. But people, I'm going to keep addressing that people are like pointing out like crazy that I have a cold sore. Cause like people say not to engage with trolls, but like, I do think it's important to demonstrate like there's this like one-sided thing, which is like, most people have the virus that gives you like a cold sore on your mouth every now and again. I happen to have one right now. Bummer. If God's real, he's a jerk for giving me a cold sore this week. I've been on TV a lot this week. I mean, I don't care, right? I was born with it. It happens every now and again. If you think it's an important thing to address with me, you're demonstrating your character. So thank you for demonstrating to the chat that you kind of are like not the best guy. Anyway, what else is going on in the chat? As a cat, I see and hear you. No, I don't care. Interesting comment, I suppose. You muted right after saying good. I haven't used the mute button today. I rarely use the mute button. I'll say this again. It's something I say in my lives a lot. I wish that TikTok had a little blip sound, like a little chugga or something that would play when you hit the mute button, just so the audience can hear that the host has hit the mute button. Because I listen to a lot of lives where I, as a host who does this, can hear through it. I'm like, they've muted them. I could hear that word got cut off or whatever. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's obvious to the audience. Sometimes it's obvious to somebody like me who has an ear for it. But as a listening experience, I do think it is a little unfortunate for the guest that even if they need to be muted, it doesn't always get attention that they have been muted, and that makes it a little bit hard to. There is. I guess what I'll say is that there is a good argument to be made for a lot of debate hosts just muting the person and lecturing over them and not really letting them get their point in. Even if what I think that they're doing is right, it still looks and feels that way, which is why I as just my own flavor of being a debate live host, I have a very different strategy, which is that I'm very, very good at talking continuously quickly. It's like an exercise I did when I was an improv actor 10 years ago, and I've kept the skill. So I will just yammer at them until they stop talking. And then as soon as they're done talking, I will say, right, so back to the thing that you moved on from that I'm not letting you move on from. We're going to go back to the question you didn't answer. And I hope it's not too annoying when that happens, because I know it's auditorially a little bit overwhelming, but that's kind of the point. I can hear the caller being overwhelmed. When they're trying to talk over me and I'm just yapping at them, listen to what they're actually saying while I'm yapping at them, because you can hear them kind of breaking down and like not finishing their sentences properly. I did that all day yesterday. What you're talking about, the yammering over people thing? I feel like that. Yeah. Just don't yes and them. They'll take it to crazy places. Yeah, calling somebody who I appreciate a bad name. I'm just gonna block that account. She's a moderator. She's here right now. We're not doing that. Man, I thought like, oh man, like I hope I don't like atrophy my audience by just banning people left and right, but like it's actually going well enough that it's okay to ban the troublemakers. And now I'm over the hump. I've banned, I think, the 50 or 100 worst, like bad faith, like bad for the live callers, and now I actually mostly get to have unique, interesting calls. Samai says, I'm looking for some, is that pride, love? I don't know, is that a pride flag? I love you. I love most people. My default situation is love. You have to really egregiously screw up for me to not love you. Which has come up a lot this week because I told Minnesota Angry Man that I loved him while I was de-escalating the altercation he was in with Savannah Hernandez, and I've been gotten in trouble for telling a guy who just shoved a woman that I love him. But a buddy of mine did something bad, and I was stopping him, and I told him he was seeing red, and it was me putting my hand on his chest and stopping him in the crowd around him that got him to snap out of it and calm down. So I don't know. I'll take the L. If that makes me bad, if that makes me a Nazi sympathizer, which I'm getting called a lot this week because I broke up a fight where a Nazi was getting 3v1'd. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the violence. I want everybody to go home. I hope the Civil War doesn't start. I don't want that. I want to stay a liberal. I don't want to become a leftist, but if the Civil War starts, I'm going to become a leftist, and it's not what we want. Viper says you were trying to de-escalate, which is great. Yeah. Again, like if we're so concerned about her safety, which I was in that moment, then like never mind what I said, right? Like to quote the previous caller, in an emergency situation like that, because a fight is an emergency situation, I would say that actions actually do matter a lot more than words in most cases, because obviously I could have said some words that made it worse or something like that instead of doing some actions that made it better. But I did both say things and do things that made it better, because I was among the people. There were a bunch of people who worked to stop that situation from getting out of hand. Big shout out to Ravens Blossom on Instagram. I in reviewing the footage leading up to the altercation, I pick her out as an individual who like me saw things that were going to be not so great pretty soon, based on everything that was going on. And Ravens Blossom was stuck to Savannah Hernandez like glue, telling people to not get in her face, pushing people's hands away from her, just being chill. Ravens Blossom's really the MVP of that day. But they haven't taken too much public attention about it. Me and my buddy Derek are doing the trolling campaign. Diane, thank you so much for sharing the live. I appreciate that. I really do, especially because we're approaching somewhere in the next 60 seconds. We're going to have this live restriction lifted, and we're actually going to probably get back on the For You page and have some more people in here. So now's a good time to get double tapping away on the screen, because the reason we haven't had a call in the last few minutes and why I've had to just keep yapping away to keep the show entertaining is because I got a live restriction for bullying. Probably one that I deserved, because I was talking about some people who, well, I don't want to get the restriction again right away, so we'll move on. But I do want to talk to some Trump supporters. We got 50 more minutes of debates, which of course, if somebody calls in with 1 minute left, I'll probably continue the debate beyond that. I'm not working today. I've got such a long gap in my work schedule. I am going to treat this like the opposite of a vacation. I'm going to work my little tuchus off getting this social media content up. I have so many debates that I need to listen through and get clips done. I'm super behind on my editing workload. Yeah, we're at 44K. Oh, good likes, given that I haven't even been paying attention today. So yeah, let's get to 50K, and I bet if we get to 50K quickly, we'll have a caller in here. And if we get a caller in here, well, that's always good for the live. I have to work way less hard to get the live viewership up when there's a caller in here, because that's what the show's about. It makes it way more entertaining. So thank you, Viper, for sharing. I appreciate that from all of you. And thanks everybody who's here from Diava. I know even just her being in the chat tells the algorithm to send her viewers here. So if you're here from being a fan of Diava Talks, then welcome to the show. And maybe if Diava's still here, she can hop up if we don't have callers. But that's up to her. Maybe she doesn't want to be on the mic. But Diava's a great friend of the show, and she and I have very, very different styles. I have this like ironclad like brick wall approach where like I just like really drill the guest on what exactly it is we're trying to talk about, and I kind of save the burns for when they're particularly hot. Whereas Diava spends a lot of time on the burns. It's a very very different flavor of show you get with Diava. But that's just what I was talking about earlier. I'm a little bit different than Dean. I'm a little bit different than Santana. I'm a little bit different than Parker, and I'm very different than Diava. Diava's a whole other class of thing. I would expect, Diava, that there are some people who are just into getting yelled at by you. Have you ever? I'm sure you're aware that must be what some of it is, right? People calling because they want you to be mean.
Oh yeah, I have a few that follow me, and I had one guy who hung out in my live all 3 hours yesterday, and I brought him up and dropped him like 14 times, and he stayed, and he kept trying to come up and talk to me, and I'm like, you must have a humiliation kink, because but see, the difference between me and you, and the reason why I have to be a little bit more rabid, I guess, for lack of a better word, is I get all the misogynists. I get all the men who are like, I'm going to come up here and school this old hag on, she don't know nothing about politics. And, they're very misogynistic, very ageist, all kinds of stuff. I get the crash outs. I get the fucking crazies.
Yeah. I get the dads who want to like big league me, and it even happened today. I don't know if you were here for it, but somebody asked me how old I was. I said I was 30. He was like, "Dude, you look like you're 15." And I'm like, "Do you think that's a burn?" Like, what? Yeah.
I'm like, "Please tell me again.
Tell me again how youthful my appearance is." Yeah, it's almost as though I've been eating well and exercising my entire adult life.
And I get the opposite. Like, you're an old hag. Don't you have some grandkids? And that's the thing, is that even people that you talk to, that I've talked to, that I have blocked, and come up and talk to you, still talk to you different because you're a guy.
I've experienced that just on my show, and I call them on it. I'm sure you remember I've said it a couple times where I'm like, all right, you're not listening to Diava because she's a woman. I'm going to say exactly the words that she said and see if you listen. And then they listen to what I said and respond, and it's like, all right, so just like side note for those keeping score, guest is a misogynist. Now back to discussing the fact of the matter, which is that Trump is a misogynist. Ha! Or whatever. But yeah, it was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't find the exact label for it, but humiliation kinks, that's what it is. Some people are into that type of stuff.
I do have a few that just come back every single day, and it's just like I would never go sit in a right-wing live all day long.
Well, and again, like they think it's a W. Like, I'm sure I could list a few names of people who try to call into this show every single day, and part of the reason I don't let them up unless I don't have another caller is because like I'll skip them to another caller that's after them, even if they were there first, is because it's like, all right, I'm now officially on this schedule of doing this show for 2 hours a day. Sorry, I'm not going to give some random asshole like 40 minutes of that 2 hours every day. Like, it's a show that that will then the show becomes the you show for a third of it, and like that's a huge thing to do. I'm willing to do that with you, Diava, to fill airtime because I love talking to you and you're entertaining and you're good at this, and we're buddies. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna like listen to the same 3 arguments about E. Jean Carroll from the same guy 40 minutes a day when I cook them every time, because Trump did obviously rape E. Jean Carroll, and it's been proved in court, and then with the fact that it was a rape has been proved in court, or litigated on by a judge. I mean to say that hasn't been proven in court. Different language, but you know what I mean.
Which they like to split hairs between. Well, he wasn't convicted in a criminal court, and it's like civil court still matters, because being held civilly liable means you're legally responsible.
Well, the when people say it was like civil instead of criminal, like I've never gotten any kind of direct response to the immediate thing I always say when they bring that up, which is like, all right, we can talk about the fact that like he did do the crime and it's the statute of limitations and he should have been held accountable, but he wasn't, and that's bad. Like, we can talk about that next. But just to be clear, you're okay with the president being found civilly liable of sexual abuse, and then they immediately always say, oh, well, it was a liberal jury in New York, and it's like, all right, you're just moving the goalposts back, when in reality...
It's how do you think he's really going to get a fair trial in New York?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, don't commit crimes in blue states then, dumbass.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, the burden of proof is lower for a civil litigation than for a criminal trial. But
it's more likely than not than beyond a reasonable doubt.
This is the point I've never gotten a response from a MAGA caller on, which is, okay, so we can say that like criminals, like, you know, the burden of proof for criminal liability might be here, and then civil is here. The burden of proof for picking someone president is like down here. You know, you got to be really sure that he's not a rapist.
Well, why don't you really stump them? Yeah, we had the 50K likes.
Thanks everybody for all the likes. They're rolling in. The viewership's going up. I'm sure we'll have a MAGA caller in here. If you just joined the call, we are looking for a caller. So Diava's just here hanging out until I get a new caller to come up.
Yeah, and I'll jump down.
Yeah. Diava, maybe she'll jump back up if it becomes one of those topics that I want Diava on, because there are certain topics that you are.
But I'll jump down initially to give you a chance with you know, just having a one-on-one debate.
Yeah.
But what you should then ask them, which is I just thought of this, and I've not even done it on my own live. It literally just popped in my head. If they don't think that a civil infraction is worthy of their condemnation or whatever, then how come someone crossing the border illegally, which is a civil infraction, give them so riled up?
Yeah, like they're literally upset that they're calling all these people.
It's not a criminal offense. It is a civil offense. It's like getting a jaywalking or a parking ticket.
Yeah, they're mad at these people about like not having their paperwork in order when the president's a convicted felon for like fraudulently. Wow, I'm missing the word. What is it? What did you do to the business?
It was fraudulent business documents.
Yeah, fraudulent for making fraudulent business documents, which is like a way bigger crime than just not having your paperwork in order. But they don't care because it's a cult. Because whatever he does is fine.
Especially because supposedly they're supposed to be ridding the whole United States of waste, fraud, and abuse. And he's the one who committed the fraud. It's all projection, and we know that.
Right, and of course because they don't believe. Again, the court, it was in New York, he was found guilty of those 34 felonies. So it's the same argument there where it's like, if you're so concerned about Somali fraud, if you're so concerned about waste, fraud, and abuse, if you're so concerned about these things, why are you okay with a president who is a convicted felon for 34 counts of a crime that is a type of, guess what? Fraud. Convicted fraudster. Unbelievable. I mean,
that's not the first time, though, because the other New York case, the civil trial, the civil trial regarding him inflating the square footage of his Manhattan apartment from 10,000 square feet to 33,000 square feet, and he got court ordered to pay the state of New York back over $500 million because he defrauded the taxpayers of New York by inflating his assets to get loans and deflating his assets to the IRS. And it wasn't that he just valued his properties different, because that's their argument. Well, he just valued his property.
He lied about the material facts about the properties, like how much square footage
when you lie about square footage, that's not the value. That's lying about square footage.
It can be your opinion that it's worth more, but to say it's more square footage than it's not, that's not an opinion. It's a lie.
That's just fraud.
Yeah,
that's just fraud.
Absolutely fraud.
So it's not even the first time. Even his Trump University. His Trump University got shut down because he took the students' money and never provided any real estate school.
Okay,
so he had to refund all their money.
The daycare fraud that everybody's mad about is kind of like a charity fraud, because it's a charitable thing that the government does to subsidize these daycares to make lives easier for the families that have their kids in the daycares. Donald Trump is banned from doing charities in New York because he was found to be defrauding those charities. Like it's insane. It's insane.
It was a child cancer nonprofit and a POW nonprofit.
Yeah.
Is who he defrauded. He's
Terrible.
Fucking disgusting.
The U.S. Constitution just joined the chat. Can we talk to the U.S. Constitution? Can you hit the request button and tell us what you think about what's going on?
Oh, this person must be really angry then, because
I hope they're mad.
He is shitting all over the Constitution on a daily basis.
Yeah, the U.S. Constitution who just entered the chat. Trump doesn't like you at all. Do you like him? Hit the request button if you do. If you're in the call and you support Trump, we want you to hit the button. And don't worry. It's not going to be a 2v1. Diava's just filling airtime until I get a caller.
I will drop if you want to come up and have a 1v1.
The U.S. Constitution says fuck no.
Okay. It's Constitution.
Oh, I didn't even read it right. It says, I'm so glad we can say cunt on TikTok. It's such a funny set of rules we have to follow, but I do love the word cunt. It's so fun
I have
to
an
say.
entire sticker. I have a sticker for my followers that says cunt with a thunderbolt behind it, because I call myself a thunder cunt.
Oh, I got a new prop that's I'm gonna maybe set up the different. I'm gonna I have room over there. I'm gonna set up like a different studio for doing these, but I think I have my backdrop banner. I just got it for free because I attended a concert and it got confiscated by the staff, and the staff member knew me and knew what I was up to and gave it to me after the show, because I know people who work there. So I'm gonna step out of frame for Oh, I don't even need to disconnect my headphones. It's right here.
Okay. Because, the guys come up every day and call me a cunt. So I decided to take the wind out of their sails and say, oh, no, I am not a regular old cunt. I am a thunder cunt. Fuck ice. I love it. I love it.
So because I have a buddy who works at that music venue, now I have a giant Minnesota State flag that says fuck ice on it because somebody in the audience wanted to give it to the artist and they weren't allowed. It got confiscated. So now I own it. And I was thinking I'd put it over my bed. Ooh, which way? God, my brain's not doing the mirroring properly. This way, that's the wall behind my bed. That's my headboard behind me to my left. Anyway, so I was thinking of putting it on the wall there, but I should just use it as a backdrop for like a little studio setup.
Yeah.
I also had a monetization idea, which I might set up like a little Etsy shop or something, because I have saved all of these signs. I have a big stack of them, and I was thinking of selling all of them for like $5 because I can ship them for a postage stamp. They are just pieces of paper, and then I could write a little note to whoever. Like if somebody bought one, I could go to the TikTok page and like have a look through and like write a little personalized message or something.
Right,
I think
that'd be cute.
Because I've got now at this point. I've got a lot of them. They all have this crease in them because I fold them so that they stay straight when they're on the stand. But MAGA is doomed. If you want these things, message me. I will mail them to you for a very, very small fee. Also shout out to me. My handwriting is getting good. I'm getting way better at writing these signs. If I go to the bottom of the stack, they'll be hideous. They're not all in order, but anyway, so all of the signs have been saved, and I got to get the tape off of them. I always forget to take the tape off of them. But if you want an Oskar Quentin sign from the live, those will be available soon. I've updated what I said a second ago to what I'm saying right now, which is that those will be available soon because I do see people in the chat who want some of them. So yeah, I'll make those available. I'll put that on my to-do list for this week because my goodness, do I have a lot of work to get through this week. Are there any Trump supporters in the chat? Like, hello, are you there? I'm scaring them away, Diava. It was very funny. That first call, I had to be really aggressive to keep that guy on track. I should date them. That's a good comment from Will. I should put the date of the lives on these. I'll try to remember to do that when I take them down because you should want to be able to identify what date they are. But yeah, that first guy who I just like absolutely roasted, the queue was full and it emptied while I was roasting him. And I was like, oh no, I roasted him too hard. I scared everybody else away.
Oh, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the bad faith thing. People don't want to talk to me because it's impossible to talk to me if what you're going to do is bad faith because I've just gotten good at it. I don't take shit from nobody on this bad faith nonsense. I'm every now and then I listen back to one of these lives while I'm editing and I think, oh, I missed it. I missed the pivot. I didn't realize that we dropped this important point, and I like judge myself, and I get better all the time. Each one of these mega fools only makes me more powerful. Every conversation makes me more experienced at doing this.
Have you looked up the Homeland Security Task Force .gov HTSF?
I haven't, but I'm going to reserve that topic until potentially after we talk to probably a bad faith guest, because I think we see in the queue that we have bad views here. So I'm going to kick you, Diava, but you'll probably be right back.
How do you follow Diava? Just click on my box and hit follow.
Yeah, I'll leave you up for a second. I'll actually just mute you for now so that I can talk.
Yeah, just mute.
Oh, yeah, okay, I muted her. I feel bad cutting Diava off because she's a friend, but she was telling me to mute her. Anyway, Bad Views is here. We're gonna see what kind of bad views has. Bad Views, how old are you?
38.
38, I believe you. What are some of the bad views that you have?
Oh, I was just coming up and I just wanted to say I think it's great. You're a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Appreciate that. That's all?
He doesn't like me, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well,
I teach Diava something new every time I talk to her. So.
I don't believe you. All right, so we're going to move on because he didn't want to have a conversation, so I'm glad I didn't kick Diava. So she's back. There we go.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have to send you the invite, right? Because you're a mod? I assume that's how that works?
Or I can just unmute. You can just tell me to unmute myself.
Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But yeah.
But the Homeland Security Task Force website is fucking frightening.
Let's look at it.
It's hstf.gov, Homeland Security Task Force.
hsts.gov. Yeah, I may have hsts.gov. I'm getting a not secure on a .gov.
HS T as in Tom, F as in Frank.
Oh, I misheard you.
Yeah.
There we go. I thought it was task force, right? TF. Okay, so let's get this up on the screen so we can have a look. Let's have a quick look. There we go. What is this? Is this a Call of Duty ad?
No, this is the new Homeland Security Task Force. They're going to have basically our own stormtroopers. It says all 50 states and no borders. The threat doesn't respect borders. The response has to match. This is literally a government website.
Yeah, and they're literally appealing to the sort of chuds who are in this cult by making this look like a Call of Duty lobby. This looks like my page looked like when I was playing a lot of Call of Duty when I was a 16-year-old, and it like showed my KD ratio and stuff. Like, this looks like a menu you would see on an Xbox.
Keep scrolling down, and there's a quote from Trump. It says, "For the first time, law enforcement will have a permanent task force in every state and territory nationwide."
That's terrifying. Yeah, so it is one of those like obviously un-American things to have the president talking about using federal resources.
Talk about fascism.
To create state level law enforcement. It's like that sort of thing is a red flag if you understand the Constitution, if you understand the way America's supposed to work. But if you like Donald Trump and you're in his cult, you probably look at this and think like, oh, how cool, this is rad, we're gonna catch them all. And it's like, nah, dude, like this is fascist propaganda. Like, learn your history.
100%.
Wait, hold on. Why does it say 52 states
and territories?
I guess it's
Puerto
states.
Rico,
I guess it's states
DC.
and territories that count as 52. I was going to say it's just a
right.
little.
I first thought that too. I thought, oh my God, they got it wrong. But then I saw the word and territories. I'm like, okay, right.
It's a little not careful. 20 plus federal agencies, hundreds of state, local, and international partners. Like, yeah, this is totally terrifying. Look, it's even doing the little text scramble thing where like, it wasn't zoomed in enough, but like this.
No, it did it at the very top when you first logged in for the name of the Homeland Security Task Force. It did the word scramble.
Yeah, and if the live is lagging for anybody else, it's literally because this website is so bloated that my computer's having a hard time running the live and this website
doing the same thing
at the same time. Yeah, like if the frame rate's low, it's because the government's bad at making websites, because this is just a bunch of pictures and text. It should function properly. This is terrifying. This is frequently asked questions. What is the Homeland Security Task Force? What kind of answers
That's what I'm going through right now.
The Homeland Security Task Force is a permanent interagency law enforcement task force created by executive order to combat transnational criminal organizations, including cartels, trafficking networks, and foreign terrorist organizations across all 52 U.S. states and territories. Wow, this is horrifying. Is this new? When did this get made?
4 hours ago.
Oh, okay. So this is like breaking news. I'm actually going to read for now until we're waiting for a caller, but I'm actually just going to read these Q&As out. Is it going to let me show them to people better? There we go. Can I make it bigger? Scroll back to the bottom. I'm getting better at getting the content on the screen, guys. It is
real quick, Heather. I gave you I transposed the letters, Heather, on the website. It's HS, T as in Tom, F as in Frank. So H, Sam, Tango, Foxtrot.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it wrong in your comment, Diava. You spelled it wrong.
That's why I was.
L for Diava. L for Diava. Where are the regional task forces located? There are 30 regional task forces and 29 satellite offices covering every state, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. Each regional task force is co-led by an HSI and FBI special agent in charge. So what he's doing, like broadly, this is fun. We're going to go through this Q&A, and we're going to give our thoughts on each of these. So this is, I made the title of the live now, Debate and News for 2 hours. So right now it's news. We're talking about this. So what's going on here, like this sort of thing, again, to anybody who understands how the United States is supposed to function, should know that this is dangerous, that this is not how the federal government is supposed to operate. The fact that all of these different regional task force and agencies work independently of each other is part of what is protecting people's rights. There's a reason that the IRS and the DMV don't talk to each other about what information they have on you. It's so that that nobody who works at either of those organizations can have all your information. And that's true of all the branches of the government. So it's important for law enforcement to be able to cooperate on investigations. Hey, you have evidence on a person. Can we have that evidence? Can we make a request for it? That's one thing. But combining them into one big conglomerate that Trump sits at the top of is fucking fascistic. He's talking about, this is nationalizing law enforcement. This is creating a police state, is what this is describing.
This is the Gestapo. We thought ICE was the Gestapo, but this is going to be the Gestapo as well. This is a answer to him police state.
Yeah. This is does the IRS have everything DMV has? I'll read that out loud to fact check myself, because maybe I used a bad example. But in general, government branches, unless there's a good reason to, don't just have standing permission to give each other data. That's one of the bad things that Doge does, is they consolidated a lot of that data from different government branches and organizations in a way that made it so that a small number of people do have all the information on a lot of citizens, which is terrifying. And now that information is in private hands. It's in the hands of Elon Musk and Palantir, which is like really, really bad. But people,
very bad.
Like, you have to have such like a comprehensive, semi-nuanced understanding of all this stuff to even like consider these problems. So I say that to a Trump supporter and they'll never say anything but Biden, because they didn't listen to what I said, because it's not interesting. But it's dangerous. It's just not interesting to people who don't understand these things. What is the National Coordination Center? The National Coordination Center is the operational hub of the HSTF network, co-led by HSI and the FBI in Fairfax, Virginia. It directs resources, coordinates of criminal network analysis, and deconflicts targets across task forces nationwide. Well, I'm a big fan of protesting at the Whipple building here in Minneapolis, which is the federal building out of which ICE operates. I'd say that if you live anywhere near this building, you need to go set up a tent in front of it and start yelling at them, because fuck this shit. Any thoughts, Diava?
I know, I agree. This is really, 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 really not good.
Yeah, Fairfax, Virginia. If you live in that area, maybe your civic duty is to do what I'm doing and go to the protests at the Whipple, but for you, it's going to be to go to the protests at the National Coordination Center. I think that's something I'm probably going to start talking to some of the protest organizers I know. We need to get some people protesting at that building so that everybody who works there knows that they're participating in fascism, and people tell them every time they walk in the door.
That's right.
Yeah, we need to get on that. I will. I'll hit up DeWoke Farmer or somebody and see who he thinks we should get that.
You
message.
should also, or do a almost like a get a. I don't know how much they would be, but if there was any monies or anybody had any like from donations or anything, buy a bunch of. Let's see. I'm using my words.
I was going to say, are you having a brain fart, or are you trying to figure out the Orwellian newspeak that you need to say it in this?
Yeah. The schnozzy armbands, and hand them out to the.
Oh, that would be fun if we got some red armbands with a white circle and a black symbol in the middle of it, and we handed it out to people. I could do that at the Whipple. That would be fun.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, hold. Yeah, I need to write that down. I'm gonna. I'll remember that. Okay, that is a good idea. That would be very funny.
Somebody has white. Even if somebody just buys a whole thing of red fabric and you cut them out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would get the point across.
I bet there's a couple group chats I'm in where I bet if I sent that idea to the group chat, 1,000 of those would show up at the Whipple on Monday.
Exactly.
Somebody would head on down to Joanne Fabric and get to work. Actually, no, don't go to Joanne Fabric. If you live in the metro area, go to Axeman. They have fabric, and they're a fun local business you should support. Anyway, what does the task force target? I like the way it says what instead of who. That's totally scary. Anyway, just going to breeze on past that. The HSTF targets 6 primary threat categories: narcotics and contraband trafficking, human trafficking, smuggling, weapons trafficking, financial crimes, transnational gangs, and intellectual fusion operations. Intellectual fusion operations. Diava, do you happen to know what intellectual fusion operations are? Intelligence fusion operations?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's a new one. I assume they mean, well, if that's something
that could be broad. That could be extremely broad.
That's something that I would argue that you and I are fusing our intelligences to operate this live. I guess they're coming for us. That's as much as I'm joking when I say that, that is the problem with these sorts of things. That is the problem with the language of Trump.
They're too vague.
Yeah. That's the problem with Trump's executive orders, and the language of it is that you can like define things as terrorism.
I have an answer for you.
Yeah, what is it?
I just Googled intelligence fusion because I've just actually never heard of that term. Mm-hmm. But it says, the source is Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, so that's probably where they got it. Intelligence fusion is the collaborative multi-agency process of gathering, analyzing, and sharing data from diverse sources, such as law enforcement, public safety systems, and private sector partners, to identify and mitigate threats.
Right. So why is this being listed as a primary threat category? Because I even counted the commas to like make sure, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the sixth one is this. Is this just badly worded? Did they mean to use? Did they mean to say that they're gonna do this to fight crime? Because what they're saying here with the text on the screen is that they're gonna combat this.
It says these centers emerged significantly after the 9/11 attacks to address communication gaps between agencies and continue to evolve by incorporating advanced technologies like AI to analyze complex data sets.
Okay, I think that actually what happened here is that the intern who hastily wrote this like did a bad job and like had a brain fart. Because what this literally says is that that this thing that we're talking about, intelligence fusion operations, is going to be targeted because it's one of the 6 primary threat categories. So I genuinely think this was just badly written because they're going to target themselves. Like, what the fuck is this? Fucking proofread your fascistic propaganda, White House. Come on. At least proofread the shit. Okay, how is this different from joint terrorism task forces, which is the cooperation of government agencies that we've used to fight terrorism since 9/11? That one I happen to know what that is. While joint terrorism task forces focus primarily on terrorism-related investigations, the HSTF, what a terrible acronym! Make it better, make it easier to pronounce. The initialism, it's not an acronym, it's initialism, and it's a hard one to say. The HSTF specifically targets transnational criminal organizations, including cartels and their operations across borders, integrating both intelligence, community data, and law enforcement investigations. So immediately, this is all the same thing that I've been saying the whole time, which is like, I bet that law enforcement is going to take, an ideology like this one and assume that like I assume that they're going to just categorize anybody who, let's say, crosses a border as participating in these criminal organizations. Donald Trump has an executive order that does something similar. So again, we're just broadening the scope of these legal organizations in order to target more people that Trump doesn't like, even if they haven't committed any violent or serious crimes. Fascistic. This is police state shit. This should be terrifying to you. It's terrifying to me, but I'm kind of jaded to it because the police state is something that I interact with pretty regularly. So it's like it's real world for me already. I go to the Whipple building and I have my First Amendment right violated by federal law enforcement agencies and local.
Does that include Antifa? Because if you remember correctly, there was a executive order.
Oh, I remember.
About Antifa being a terrorist organization.
Diava, remind me what Antifa means. What does the phrase Antifa refer to?
Anti-fascist.
Yeah, it's not a group. It's an adjective. I'm Antifa.
It's an ideology.
Because I'm anti-fascist. I don't like fascism. I don't think America should be a fascist state. And because I believe that, I, according to that executive order, am categorized as a terrorist, which is terrifying, especially because the FBI is after me now because of what happened last week with Savannah Hernandez. J.D. Vance set the FBI after me and my friends, and we're a little worried about that, waiting for the knock on the door. Let's hope they don't consider me a terrorist and lock me up. That would be scary.
Yeah, Jazz. Actually, I just saw Jazz's comment. Hold on. And yes, they're utilizing that with the anti-Christian and anti-Judaism and then anti-American. So that's what they're going to do. Anyone that anyone that's against Christianity, anyone that's against Jewish people,
that's bad.
Anyone that's against, we're going to be they're all going to be lumped into that too.
Terrifying.
There's an executive order for that too.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying. What role do state and local agencies play? State and local agencies participate directly through the regional task forces, which serve as the primary coordination point between federal and local law enforcement. Over 440 state and local agencies are currently partnered with the HSTF. I already said it. It's the same answer to all of this shit. This is police state type shit. This is not how law enforcement is supposed to be conducted in America. The independence of these agencies is important, and the cooperation between them is necessarily limited to protect the rights of the people, and the exceptions have to be really carefully created in order to allow interdepartmental cooperation. So that's serial. It's important that a serial killer can't hop a state line and suddenly have the investigation not, that new state working with a clean slate on the investigation. That's why the Golden State Killer and them got away with it for as long as they did. So their interdepartmental cooperation is important for investigations. But this is describing something much greater than that, where instead of having a reason to do it for somebody, you are doing it for everybody for no reason.
Correct.
Which is bad. Really bad. Any other thoughts, Diava?
No, I totally agree. I just think this is horrific.
Yeah. Does the task force handle civil immigration enforcement? The HSTF focuses on criminal enforcement against transnational criminal organizations. God, this shit is so repetitive. Including cartels, trafficking networks, and terrorist organizations. Civil immigration enforcement falls under separate authorities. So yeah, this is Oh, yeah, never mind all that immigration enforcement. We can't use them as the Gestapo because Oskar and his buddies made them too unpopular in Minneapolis, and it's really terrible PR, and we had to fire a bunch of people about it. Yeah, literally, my footage is the footage that was doing that. Can we get a W for host for embarrassing the government into not even using ICE as the Gestapo anymore? I'm gonna claim the W for that one because it's fun. But this is this is more police state shit. Again, terrorist organizations. I'm included under these terrorist organizations because of Donald Trump's executive order. Because not only am I Antifa, which I think any American should be, I'm like what they would call a prominent member for being successful on social media and being involved in this stuff and like doing active trolling campaigns against TPUSA, which again, we're trying to make them look bad. We're trolling them and being silly on purpose, and it's working. And Savannah Hernandez doesn't like it one bit, even though she accidentally liked one of our reels, and it's like, thanks Savannah for letting us know you're watching. Anyway.
Well, but the thing is with that though, is that you and I, if you think about it, the owner of TikTok is Larry Ellison, who's a huge MAGA. So if he's willing to give our data, our lives, what we say on these lives over to the FBI and stuff, we could be considered anti-Christian, Israel, anti-American, and all that because of what we say on a daily basis. So, I mean, we're making ourselves target by doing these.
To answer the chat quickly, Jazz, I did see the Eric Kirk Lego video. I thought it was very funny.
That shit was funny.
That shit was very funny. Minnesota Angry Man put that on his story. That's how I saw that.
I will give it to Iran. They know how to troll the shit out of Trump because there is nothing more there's nothing worse to a narcissist than humiliation, not even death.
Well, I had a caller earlier today who said that Trump was like, I forget exactly what word he used. He was like so bold.
Oh, he was a badass or whatever.
Right, yeah. And I was like, no, he's a wuss. He gets so offended when people make fun of him.
He's the biggest puss.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so I'm a terrorist according to the government. Literally. Oh, this is trafficking networks. So that's what I was going to say because JD Vance said he's going after our networks and like how we get organized and paid or whatever.
Start with Trump and Epstein.
Yeah. Cartels, of course, which like apparently every illegal immigrant is a part of like an illegal invading force from another criminal organization. Like they've been laying the groundwork to have a description like this one that's on the screen in front of you, listing things like criminal organizations, cartels, trafficking networks, and terrorist organizations. They have been broadening the definition of those terms since Trump took office a little more than a year ago. Strategically. So a little more than a year ago, you could look at this and think, okay, yeah, those are all pretty bad things. But now if we look at how Trump defines these things and we consider the fact that I literally fit one of the fucking definitions here for like, again, anybody who's anti-fascist is a terrorist now, but like, we know they're talking about people like me who are being loud about it. And so like I'm under this. So apparently this task force is coming for me. That's terrifying. They're coming for you too, Diava.
I know.
Yeah, I've got their attention a little bit more at the moment just because of what happened last week. But like they're coming for all of us.
Absolutely. That's what this is for. It's a police state. It's a terror state. They have become this party is not just a cult. It's also a stochastic terrorism organization.
Yeah. To answer the chat, I've not yet had the FBI show up at my house, but I have made this has been true since January, since I got involved with Operation Metro Surge and the Signal chats, and then I started making content after that. But like I have like gotten my ducks in a row. I have pets to care for. If I disappear, there's a person who has a key to my home that's going to come take care of them, and they know like who's supposed to get. There's a person who's going to take care of my dog, and there's a person who's going to take care of my cats, and like people have been told about like where my data is being kept, and like I have a plan for when I disappear. I should say if I disappear, but I mean that maybe
Jesus.
Yeah, maybe that little Freudian slip kind of tells you how jaded I am to this right now. Like, I mean, the joke I tell my friends here is that if I die, hang posters of me, because like everybody tells me to stay safe, and I'm just like, too many people were safe in the 30s in Germany. I can't do it. It's not. Yeah, so like if I get tangled up in this thing because I go out there with my real face and my name and stuff, like then. So be it, right? Like somebody needs to draw attention to this, and I'm just not going to sit by. But anyway, that for feeling that way and for expressing that publicly is why I'm like it's worrying to see stuff like this. Like I'm sitting here, feeling a little bit of the sweat. Like, all right, yeah, they're again broadening the definitions of what they're going after to include people like me. Once again, John is in the queue. John, hang out for like 2 more minutes. I just want to get through this list. We have 2 more, and then we'll conclude this little section because we did make it to the bottom of the page. But we will talk to you, to John. Just hang out like 2-3 minutes. You ready to move on, Diava? Next one. How is the task force funded? The HSTS God, again, terrible initialism. I'm just going to say it wrong on purpose every time. The HXBR something, I don't know, operates through existing federal agency. They make fun of us for LGBTQA+, which is a terrible initialism. So I'm going to throw it right back at them. That one I've gotten memorized because it's been long enough. But the HF47X operates through existing federal agency budgets and appropriations with resources directly by the National Coordination Center to ensure efficient deployment across all 30 regional task force. Sounds like a very vague way to say that the president is going to decide how money gets spent, which is also unconstitutional.
Correct.
That's a little bit of speculation because it doesn't like say that specifically here. But
no,
that's
but appropriations are made by Congress.
Yeah. The use of the word appropriations again makes it again seem like this is just an excuse to fuck with the separation of powers and how things are actually supposed to be run. How can agencies get involved? Oh my God, it's going to be like if you're a local sheriff, like you should totally become a fascist. Federal, state, and local, tribal, and territorial law enforcement agencies can coordinate with the HB7 blah whatever by contacting their nearest regional task force office or contact the National Coordination Center. Okay, this is actually a fun sour note to end this on because this is much like Trump asking NATO for help in the Strait of Hormuz. This is almost like an admission that they're desperate for help because I'm sure there are tons of people who are in the position of power in their particular law enforcement agency to say no to this fascistic bullshit. No. So they're begging. They're literally begging local law enforcement agencies to become part of the new Gestapo to contribute to Trump's police state. Because I'm guessing that by the fact that this FAQ item is here, they're probably getting a no from probably some law enforcement agencies that they want to control. I would personally guess that the NPD probably told them no, New York Police Department, and they probably want that one. Notice Trump hasn't done anything with New York. They're more afraid of New York than they are of Minneapolis, and for good reason. I've spent decades
in California.
I've spent twice as much time in New York as I have in Minneapolis in my 30 years on Earth, and yeah, it's gonna when they have Metro Surge in New York, it might actually be a bloodbath. Like it was bad here, but like. Yeah.
New Yorkers don't play.
New Yorkers don't play. We really don't. Yeah, it's that's absolutely terrifying. Diava, I think I'm just gonna mute you if you want to stay on because I have to close this webpage to get rid of the lag because it's so bloated. Let me bookmark it quick because because like wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Mute me. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll just mute you. But feel free to unmute yourself if you've got something really important to say. But I'm going to talk to John, and we're going to see if we're going to get one more.
Otherwise, I'll try not to interrupt unless I just can't help myself.
Oh, John said, "Give me 1 sec." We will give you 1 sec because we don't have anybody else in the queue yet.
Take your time because we asked you to wait.
So Heather says, so my great grandparents were how do I say it, from the Ireland, kinda not legally. Oh yeah, they're coming for you, Heather. But of course, the irony being that everybody can. Go back far enough and we all become immigrants at some point, unless you're literally a Native American going back like 15 generations or something, which imagine how unlikely it is for there to be a single Native American who's Native American all the way back to the 1500s. Think about how like nobody in your family ever got raped by a white dude. Are you sure? Like in terms of this, like the way the racists look at it, obviously this is not the way that I think about it, but yeah, I mean, my mom was a green card immigrant. She just got her citizenship like a few years ago. My dad was a birthright citizen. He was born in Chicago, but his parents were both war refugees from World War II. So like, yeah, like we can all go back far enough, and it doesn't. Hello, kayak. It doesn't go back very far for me personally. But nobody talks to me about that because I'm white and articulate, so they don't like think that I could be a child of immigrants or whatever. But I am child of one immigrant anyway. My dad was a child of immigrants, refugees, in fact. Jazz says that they're Lakota, Sioux, and Swiss. Yeah, we're all a mix of a bunch of shit. I'm about as white as they come, but like everybody's got a little bit of something. But again, it's just the whole ideology around that's very un-American. John is back in the queue, so I'll mute you, Diava, and I'll
okay, go for it.
And I'll see if John's a Trump supporter and if he's of age. John, tell us how old you are.
Hey there, I am 38.
I believe you.
I just wanted to pass some information about this. You're one of the first people that I've seen that is reporting on the new task force. We do know that this task force, at least some of it was started with an executive order last year. What a lot of people may not know is that last year in Fairbanks, Alaska, we actually had U.S. Border Patrol up there training at Fort Wainwright, training on specifically military weapons, specifically 81 millimeter mortars. So I just want people to know that these are the weapon systems that they are training.
I was
people.
aware of the training in Fairbanks. I have to cautiously, to be responsible in what I'm doing here, I have to cautiously say, please send me a source on the fact that they're training in mortars. And I mean that seriously. Do message me that on privately on here. I'd like to add that to my resource list, because if that is true, I have to put an if on it, because I can't just trust what the caller says to me, even though I have no reason to disbelieve you, John. Just got to be careful. If they're training border control with mortars, I will ask a very simple question. Why? Why are they training them to use mortars?
Yep. That's exactly.
For what? For fucking what? Like, Sorry. Valid crash out, right?
I will pass you that information. And I just wanted to thank you for doing due diligence and thoroughly going through that information with everyone. So
please do send me a source on that if you have one. I would very much appreciate your service on that. And he hopped down. Thanks very much for that, because that's interesting. And yeah, I guess Diava, we are getting some like, you know, breaking news coverage, because you brought this up. This was fresh from today.
Yes, this is brand new today, and I can't take full credit. Somebody in the comment section asked me if I had seen the new website yet for the Homeland Security Task Force, so I went and looked it up. I hadn't seen it either. So whoever in the chat suggested that or asked me that earlier, thank you, because I did not know that either, and I will be talking about that on my live at 4.
Yeah, I probably will tune in just to hear some more of what you have to say about it, because I'm just gonna be home video editing today and stuff. But yeah, that's just, you know, it's like, for those of us, you know, like me and you, Diava, who have been watching this so closely, there's this like little 1% thing where like things get 1% worse all the time, and 1% worse every day for a year is 36 times worse at the end of the year because of the way exponential rates work. So we know that that's bad. But every now and then there's a move where it's like, ooh, this is 5% bad. Today we're not 1% closer to a police state. Today we're not 0.5% closer to a police state. Today we're 10% closer to a police state. And in a lot of ways we are there. You know, I mean, obviously during Metro Surge, we all felt like we were living in a police state because of how scary it was to go outside. Because it was very scary to go outside for like December through February in Minneapolis. But yeah, I mean, this sort of, you know, creation of a task force, especially with this type of like propagandist branding around it, is very, very concerning. And I can even hear it in my own voice right now that like I get accused sometimes of like lying about taking this stuff seriously, because I speak so calmly about all of it most of the time. But like, I've been tear gassed more times this year than I have in my entire life, and I've been tear gassed a lot in my life because I'm a lifelong protester. I started protesting when Occupy Wall Street happened in New York. So I've been pepper sprayed before. I was at the Floyd riots. Didn't participate in them. I just attended them. I didn't break anything or burn anything. But you know, I see it like, to me that's so obvious. To me it's not new. To me this is like so obvious as a next step for them to take, so that when I see it, it's like, this is the sort of incremental step that's larger than normal that people should freak out about. Whereas I see it and I'm like, oh, of course they fucking made this dumb Call of Duty looking website to trick you know, incel basement chuds into thinking it's real fucking cool what ICE is doing, or what, again, it's not even ICE, it's like everybody else. But yeah, weaponization of law enforcement against the people. It's one of the 14 points of fascism, which of course
is a hallmark. Yeah,
which of course the people who don't think that Trump is a fascist just define fascism in a way that makes him not a fascist. I'm disappointed I didn't really get to talk about it today, because we're going to wrap up the live soon. But because I was expecting the way that today's show would go is that people would call in and give me a definition of cult that just doesn't include what Trump is doing, and then I would then have to say, okay, by that definition of cult, I don't think anything's a cult. I don't think Jim Jones was a cult. Like, I think all these actually crazy things where people like, you know, unalive themselves in masses to go up to the spaceship in heaven or whatever they thought they were going to do. Like, if you try to define a cult in a way that doesn't include Trump, you're going to exclude those things as well, which is a demonstration that Trump is a, you know, the MAGA-ism is a cult. Cult of personality, you know, glorious leader who can do no wrong. Doesn't matter if a court proves him wrong, you're just going to doubt the jury. Doesn't matter if the jury was shown to be, you know, non-biased or like have conservative members on it. You're just going to say that that's a lie, even though you have no evidence to the contrary. Cult-like behavior, violation of social norms in favor of a charismatic leader, culty shit they're doing. Thank you so much for all the gifts, Heather. You're like the MVP today. Screw TikTok giving you number 3. You're number 1 today. Sorry for whoever is number 1. Even though Will and Mama Avery also deserve to be on the list. Thanks everybody for supporting the live. Well, Heather's very glad that she caught the live today, and I get to say it now because I'm making a push for this. For the foreseeable future, I will be live streaming Diava. Let's see if I say it correctly this time. 10 to 12 Central Standard Time here on TikTok
There you
Live.
go.
10 to 12. Generally, we're going to do news and debates, but today it kind of became news because of this thing that me and Diava wanted to cover, and because we didn't happen to have any callers today. I scared them all away. But then at 12, I'm going to begin the Just Us Girls part of the call, which is kind of where we do what me and Diava are doing right now. It started a bit early today, which is why I'm probably going to wrap up probably at 12, so I can get to some video editing, because boy am I behind. Diava, that burn that we got that gotcha that I got on the stream yesterday, that's going to do well on Instagram. I'm excited when that shows up in the editing workload, tricking that guy into admitting that women are going to be damaged by the SAVE Act by describing a person who's going to be damaged by the SAVE Act and then having him accidentally assume that it was a woman. That might be the biggest W of my debate career so far, and I am so excited to get that on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right. Is there going to be one more call? Are there any Trump supporters watching? If you hate my guts, hit the request button and come tell me why. Because I'm okay.
Or if you hate me.
What?
I said, or if you hate me.
I would argue maybe not me, but I would argue any Trump supporter in the chat hates you because you're a woman. And
That's true.
I think you have to, and I think you have to hate women to support Trump. If you think otherwise, hit the request button. Going once, going twice. But we got 3 minutes left before I bail on the stream, just because we're not getting a caller, and I don't want to do the Just Us Girls Hour after already kind of doing the Just Us Girls Hour.
Right. I don't blame you.
Yeah. And hey, it's good for my schedule today. Like I said, I've got lots of editing to do. So I will say, I'll post it on TikTok. Also, I'm one of the things I'm working on today is getting a better workflow for getting my clips out. I've been kind of inconsistent with how I put them on Oskar Quentin here and then Oskar Quentin 2. You can follow me there. That's my backup account. But that's just due to some boring technical reasons about video editing and posting between TikTok and Instagram that I don't need to explain because it's not interesting. But I'm working on that stuff. It's a pretty huge workload outside of just the time I spend live streaming, especially because I will remind everybody as I give this commercial for myself that I do outside content. I go to the crazy protests that happened at the Whipple. I was involved in a big one last Saturday, and now JD Vance sent the FBI after me and my friends. That's pretty crazy. If you want to follow that story, definitely follow me on Instagram because I can't post about it too much on TikTok due to TOS stuff. But yeah, the link tree in my bio will allow you to find my Instagram and the YouTube where these VODs will be posted. Hopefully, I can get, maybe I'll just post today's live as like a big hard post, and then I can save myself the editing work. Maybe I'm good enough to do it the Dean Withers way, but I should also probably post the best conversations on their own. But following me on the other platforms, on YouTube and on Instagram, materially helps me achieve some goals that are going to help make this more profitable and more effective for me to do. But if you want to support me materially, there are of course ways to do that in the link tree on the bio as well. But you should go to my Instagram and you should watch my trolling videos that me and Derek are making. Mostly Derek. He makes those videos pretty much independently. I just supply him footage and narrative and stuff because I'm a little bit better at the yapping than he is, but he's way better at the trolling than I am. So he and I are teaming up to go after Turning Point USA and Vice President Vance and Kash Patel, the drunk, incompetent chairman of the FBI that they've sent after us. So if you want to follow that crazy nonsense I'm participating in, follow me everywhere because it's gonna get I gotta keep this media machine rolling. John says, I sent Oskar my post that covers the article. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, John. I'll take a look at that after I wrap the live today, and I'll get that included in my resources. Jazz says, go ahead, Diava.
If I could ask you just a question. If you make that document of allowed words and not allowed words and stuff like that, once we get a final draft or at least a working draft, will you also include that on your link tree? So that's
what I was saying. I'll definitely make it public. I'll definitely make it public. Right now, the issue that I have right now, and I'll talk about this for a minute because it's good just us girls stuff for this section of the live, but it is also just a problem that I'm now realizing now that I have this mainstream media attention on what I'm doing over the last week, is that there are a lot of people who are like, there's these different tranches of people where like you have the debate livers like yourself and Dean Withers and Santana who kind of exist in their own like microcosm of sphere of influence here on TikTok. And then you have all these on the ground activists who put a lot of their content on TikTok, but a lot of them exist and network primarily on Instagram because Instagram allows you to post that kind of footage and it's more liberally biased than YouTube. So like a lot of the crazy ICE footage and stuff doesn't get suppressed as bad there. So there are all these people who now I'm friends with them, like people like like I'm not going to name drop my friends because I'm not trying to brag about myself here, but prominent members of the Minneapolis protest scene are people who like I'm either know as acquaintances or they follow me or whatever, even if we haven't talked, or they are just like actual friends whose like phone numbers I have who I text about stuff, and they don't realize that like a multi-pronged approach here is necessary. I get so much attention on what's happening in Minneapolis by doing my debate lives and bringing people over to my Instagram. I get so much attention on the debate live scene because none of those people are even aware of Dean Withers and all that stuff. So when they see my debate clips, they're like, where are you getting these insane callers? And I'm like, TikTok live, dude, it's crazy. And then the big thing, this is the big thing I've seen this week. None of those people on Instagram who are doing all this like really, really good covering and participation of these activist and protest events, none of them are talking to the mainstream media. The reason I was on television on Thursday twice in one day, and CBS pushed our story to national, which is incredible, is literally because me and my buddy Derek, like mostly Derek actually doing the legwork on that, like pestered the news networks to get us to interview us. We had to explain to them that it's an important story that this person has the FBI sicked after us for protecting her or participating in this, the squabble that happened. But there's all these people who come to the Whipple and violently attack us for exercising our First Amendment right. All these alt-right people, Jake Lang, Jaden Scott, Zach X, Cam Higbee, Nick Sorter. Like there's a whole cast of characters who belong in prison. If the government is mad about what happened to Savannah and Hernandez, if they actually think we all have equal protection under the law, then they should be furious about what has been happening to us for months. And I'm not even talking about law enforcement. I'm literally just talking about assholes that show up to the Whipple building with mace and spray it at people. Like it's insanity. But yeah, so I'm trying to do this multi-pronged approach of tackling like the three major platforms. I would be on Twitter if they hadn't banned me, but they banned me right away for beefing with Cam Higbee because he's popular on there and he's an alt-right, schnazi or whatever. So yeah, Cam Higbee, still want to talk to you, buddy. Let's have a chat. Hop on my live. You call Dean Withers sometimes. Call me back. No, I made him. He's that dude's afraid of me. He doesn't.
That guy is such a douche.
That guy. Yeah. I mean, I met him in person and got him because he tried to crash the Renee Good vigil, and I like pointed him out to the crowd, and it was a whole debacle. But like, there's a reason he's gone radio silence on me and didn't post much about me, and it's because he, like many of the callers on this show, he knows that it will not do him any good to be on air with me. They all do. That's why Savannah's ignoring us, even though we know that she's watching, because she accidentally hits the like button sometimes. But yeah, so I'm trying to do this bigger media thing. So if you want to support those efforts, the link tree in the bio is the place. Anything before we wrap, Diava?
No.
Thanks for hanging out, Diava.
If I could do a shameless plug,
of course. I'm honored that you feel that it's worth your time to plug yourself on my live. You get after it.
Why not? If anyone's not following me, please consider giving me a follow. I do go live and do political debates every single day, 7 days a week from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And so if you want to come catch my live, from 4 to 6, I just have Trump voters. And from 6 to 7, I bring anybody up who wants to make a comment. So if you want to come check me out, I am definitely not as calm as Oskar. I am the crash out queen, but just rightfully so, I will say.
Valid crash outs.
But I don't crash. I also have a very, very good conversations. I've converted a lot of people to voting blue in the midterms. The only ones I end up crashing out on, basically, I match energy. So usually if they come up crashing out, I'm going to crash out with them. I just do it better than they do because they're dumb. But if you like, not spicy content, but more
zesty,
aggressive debating, I might be your cup of tea. But if I'm not, that's cool too. Which is why I love that all the left creators, we all support each other. We're not in competition with each other. We all have the same message. We're all going in the same direction. But it's wonderful that everybody has a different style because not everyone's style meshes with everyone's likes. So.
Yeah. Thanks so much for all the support, Diava. You were the first person who gave me a proper shout out on here, and you definitely gave me more traction in the algorithm, and I'm super thankful for you. So obviously, what if I was like, no, this is my live. No promoting for Diava. No, go follow Diava. Go follow Diava.
And I don't do competing. I don't do times that compete with you. So I wouldn't even say it if I normally go live at this time or close to this time. I probably wouldn't say anything.
No, I picked the time carefully for my own schedule and to make sure I'm not live when Dean Withers is live. And I don't know of any. I know Santana is sometimes live during this block, but
sometimes,
but it's not.
Usually goes more earlier.
Yeah, I'm not like permanently screwed on doing 10 to 12 Central. So I'm gonna keep that up. Forget about it. I see you in the chat, but I am wrapping the live. So please call in tomorrow between 10 and 12 Central Standard Time because I am going to be streaming during those hours going forward. And like a similar model to Diava, I'm gonna do just debate and news. Try to as long as I have a caller, I'm gonna keep it on that during that block. But then after 12, I'm just gonna switch to goofing and having fun with the buddies, echo chambery nonsense. But we did a little bit of that early because we didn't have callers today. So we are just gonna wrap now. So I'm gonna kick Diava to say goodbye to Diava, everybody.
Have a good night. I love someone's put that I crash out with love. That's so funny. That's so perfect.
Have a good one, Diava. Always good to talk to you. Yeah, I also think that I crash out with love. Like I think my crash outs are valid. Maybe you can agree or disagree in the chat. But thanks for getting us to past 70K likes, everybody. Thanks for all the gifts. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the shares. Thanks for the 104 new people who follow me after that live. It's incredible that I can sit and do this and get 100 new followers every day because I do. I'm excited about that. Hit the link tree in my bio if you want to see what else is going on, and hit me up. I'm not big enough that I'm impossible to talk to. I read my messages, so all of you guys who want to get up here and talk to me, it's not the only way. You can always just reach out to me elsewhere, and I'll maybe not quickly, but I do churn through it, and I do see it all. So thanks everybody for the support. I will see you in 22 hours.